peace? Good. Sleeping way? Report?
All's well. Fantastic, even. Thanks to the power of those primals, the engines are roaring and we're ripping along.
All VoDs are also within projected ranges. Time to destination is 8 carats. Perhaps 7 at a pinch.
8 carats.
Alright, let's go over some points of caution.
Points of caution?
Our destination, as you know, is Ultima Thule. Lest you wonder, the place is not a star so much as a patch of emptiness. That's the extent of what our equipment could determine. Anyway, from what we know of Meteion, she's likely used dynamis to obfuscate her location.
So, in conclusion, we'll only know what's there when we get there.
The crew and I will see to it the ship's ready to take off at a moment's notice. We'll support the search as best we can, but it'll be your paws on the ground, assuming there is any. But everything will be fine, I'm sure. Heidelin believes in you, so you ought to believe in yourselves. Just don't do anything I wouldn't, like waiting too long to use those portable teleporters of yours. Personally, at the slightest sign of trouble, I'd mash the button to bits, and you should as well.
Understood. We promise to be careful.
I suggest you brace yourselves. We're about to arrive, and the vessel will shake a good bit.
Oh, that's not good.
What is this? Something is interfering with the equipment. Greetings.
Oh.
Greetings. Can you hear me?
Meteion.
So this is Meteion.
Oh. Have you met one of my sisters?
No, I met you.
I don't remember meeting you myself. But I do know that you're from Atheris. Why have you come? All you had to do was wait. I would have delivered to you your ends.
We didn't ask for that.
I don't understand. All life is destined to end. Why choose to prolong your suffering? Effort, ambition, love, they amount to naught. Happiness, should you find it, is inevitably lost, stolen away by events beyond your control. There is no logic nor meaning in it. You think there is. Convince yourselves. But it's all a cruel accident. Come now. I speak the truth. A truth you would recognize if you looked up at the night sky. Unbroken emptiness. Cold, dark, and silent. Your world, like every other, is but a blemish upon its perfect fabric. Life is an anomaly. It is unnatural and cannot continue.
The sooner you accept this, the easier it will be.
Just to be clear, we're not here to argue with you. We know that life is fleeting, and that in the short time we have it, we're not assured happiness.
Indeed. I've seen far more sorrow in the eyes of many I've met. I myself have plenty of regrets. And one day they'll die with me. Gone to dust with my good deeds and unfulfilled dreams.
But we accept this. That our existence may seem pointless. That sorrow, rage, and despair will always dog our heels. And we press on regardless. That is why Hydaelyn guided us here. In her boundless love for mankind, she has prepared us for this trial, and in her name, we have come for you.
Yes, I sense it. A burning passion like unto fury. I know it well. For the same passion once burned in many a star before yours. Suffocated and extinguished now. You approach the bounds of my ultimatum, where emotions dictate reality, where resignation and acceptance unite to embrace the end, where those who yet valiantly cling to life can thrive.
Where's Tancred?
By the Fury. Tancred?
Meteion has gone as well. Mayhap he awakened first and gave chase.
Everyone? It appears we are at our destination. This is Ultima Thule.
Not that we knew what to expect, but I wasn't expecting this. From atmospheric composition to ambient temperatures, all reading to within permissible range. This place is capable of supporting life.
If that's the case, then Tancred may well have gone on ahead. Let's go and have a look. Meanwhile, I want the rest of you to perform a full inspection of the ship, as well as a biological scan.
So it was that the brave wayfarers arrived at last at Dream's End.
That's with Ladeus.
In following their path walked and history written, I am made keenly aware of one truth. Though the curtains may fall again and again, so long as others take the stage, ever shall there be more tales to tell.
Wow.
So, let them bring it to a close, I say. Let the curtains fall upon this. The final chapter in the tale of the star.
Is this a dead star?
As I live and breathe, I live and breathe. Well, the environment itself shouldn't kill us.
Well then, let us search for Thancred while exploring the area. The ship we leave in your care.
Okay. Oh god, it's a huge zone. How are there Aetherites here? If Meteion should strike again with such overwhelming force, I honestly don't know how we are to oppose her. We were clearly not much for Meteion, yet we survived unscathed. But how? It is as Living West said, I can breathe well enough, but something about this place feels wrong. It's so dark, I can barely see anything. Didst thou witness what became of Thancred? So quickly was I overcome by Meteion's malevolence that I saw naught of their altercation. There is a dizzying, disorienting feel about this place, as if I could lose my footing at any moment. We must be careful. I can't guarantee it will be of help in these strange surrounds, but I have readied a provisions note in case of emergency. Of course, if you encounter any real danger here, I expect you to return to the Ragnarok at once. We're fortunate this place can support life, albeit barely, I suspect, given the torpid, stale quality of the air. But never mind that, we must find Thancred. Let's begin our search from the prow of the ship. It seems as good a direction as any. Try not to stay too far, lest we lose sight of one another. What the hell is the prow of the ship? Is this a dragon? It's made of rock. What is this? Vitrified fort. You see no one else in this barren waste, do you? Then why do I feel like we're not alone? Like there's another presence with us, something dark and mournful. What was this, I wonder? There is a structure here in front of me, yes? A tower of some sort. Partially melted? In a strange twist of fate, it seems our perception of this place is not so different as it would be elsewhere. In the world as I used to see it, I feel as though I'm dreaming while awake. This is more than a faded memory Meteion led us to believe. These remains have long since turned to ash, and yet they retain their form. What a weird and cool place. Ruins, but of what, I wonder? Perhaps we can find something to help us understand the nature of this place. A relic, an inscription, anything. Look here. This part is relatively intact. The intricate design at the top suggests it is man-made, though its builders were surely not men as we conceive them. Having said that, I swear that I have seen this pattern before. Honestly, can't see shit, Captain. The metallic pillar has been partially melted, like sometime in the distant past. The damage does not appear to have been inflicted deliberately. Rather, it calls to mind the indiscriminate destruction often wrought in the heat of battle. I thought this hill might afford a better view of our surroundings, a poor decision in hindsight. Besides the light from the ship, all is shrouded in darkness. If Thancred is here, I would never know it. From what I can tell, we are near the edge of an island, if you can call it that, surrounded by floating debris. Were you able to find anything? Nope, as I feared, and still no trace of Thancred. There's nothing but emptiness as far as the eye can see, which, unfortunately, isn't very far. Though I can't help but suspect that someone or something is here. There are times when I sense it drawing close, and then a chill washes over me, leaving me exhausted, leaving me with feelings of death and anguish. I think I might see something over there. I felt it too when I was near that thing. What are you talking about? There's nothing there. Okay. Before we jump into any conclusions, perhaps we should search elsewhere. Agreed. We have found only more questions when we are in desperate need of answers. There's a first stretch of the rain from the ship's starboard we have yet to explore. Let us try searching there then. Sagaset, a word before we join the others. You see them too, don't you? The dragons. So I'm not crazy, as I thought. Their presence is tenuous at best, but there's no mistaking it. No doubt your bond with Midgard Summer and mine with Nidhogg is what allows us to perceive them. Could these apparitions be related to the dragons that now live on Etheres? Bah! Better to leave such conjecture to the others. In any case, we must be careful. We may soon find dragons they can see as well. Death and anguish. What happened to them, I wonder? Would be quite interesting in this if this world ended up being the world the Midgard Summer came from. My sight may have been restored after a fashion, but I fear what I see cannot be trusted. It's as if Meteion herself has etched these images upon my heart. I doubt not that such a feat is within her power, given that she constructed this sanctuary herself. Look there, are those ghosts, do you think? It seems these dragons have yet to succumb completely to the darkness of this place, meaning the others should see them as well. Dragons. 'Tis true they are not of our world, but to find them in a prison of despair. Surely mine eyes deceive me, this cannot be possible. Which part? The Aetheryte, the dragons you cannot see? The broken everything?
Dragons? Here?
Oh, you can see them.
What you see is a memory of a world that once was. A world suffering a slow death, whose denizens cried out for the release of oblivion.
What? Their world is dead?
It is. Not a single life remains upon that husk floating in the vast emptiness. These creatures are shadow and shade, perpetuated only to suffuse dynamis with their unending lamentations.
Our friend Thancred. Where is he?
A strange question. He is at your side, is he not? Oh yes. He is here and there, and everywhere within this space. He would tell you himself if he had form to form words.
What?
Huh. Such loathing and uncertainty. You don't know why you still exist. In like manner to the oblivion I send. I tried to drown out your ether with dynamis. Beginning with this Thancred, who came at me despite being unable to breathe. Such a simple thing, unmaking men. In the blinking of an eye, he was gone. Didn't even have the chance to be transformed.
Unmaking men, did she... What did...
Yet somehow, he managed to leave a slither of himself behind. What you call... the heart? Or perhaps the soul. In his final moment, he cried out from it. A single word. Survive. That wish proved stronger than the despair that ruled here. It overpowered it, causing this space to be remade. Into a place you can perceive, and where life can endure. That you draw breath is proof that his soul lives on. For how long, however, remains to be seen.
Well then, we should hurry and tend to business.
It's futile. You will never reach the true me. I told you, emotions dictate reality in this space. Such changes as you might work will not alter its nature. You may see, but you cannot touch. Walk, but not advance.
Meteion holds too much sway here. How do we contend with a foe who can unmake us on a whim?
I do not know. But Thancred gave his life that we might come this far. We must press on.
Right, so okay. I get what she said, but is Thancred dead? His physical form, at least, is he gone?
Agreed. We cannot turn tail here. Not without something to show for our comrade's sacrifice.
Can he be made back? He can't really be gone, can he? Meteion herself said his soul persists, that he is the reason we are still breathing. If so, then maybe. I understand now why the Loporites were surprised to find that this environment could sustain life, there but for Thancred's sacrifice. His will was strong enough to reshape Ultima Thule that we might survive, that I might see again. His sacrifice must not be wasted. My aim was true. I had her. How are we to defeat an enemy we can't attack? It's hard to believe Thancred was able to overcome Meteion's will, yet here we are. Would that the price for his victory had not been so high. Soul without body, a form of being with which we are not wholly unfamiliar. Indeed, for we existed in a similar state when residing in the first. The circumstances are rather more dire than that, 'tis true, but I choose to believe he is not forever lost to us. Regardless, in sacrifice he hath afforded us a chance to prevail. Let us not squander it, and ascertain the nature of this realm, that we might confront and defeat Meteion. Stinian, Sagasite, would you accompany me in speaking with these dragons? Mayhap they can enlighten us. I would ask the rest of you to survey the surrounds. If there is a path that may lead us to our quarry, we must find it. Very well. We can reconvene here when everyone is finished. Meteion said these dragons are shadow and shade, from a world whose denizens sought oblivion. As such, they're not like to be amenable to company, let alone conversation, so please be careful. Beyond that distant veil, paradise lost, so glorious, so beautiful. We were a proud and noble race, strength embodied. We knew only love before they came. Metal monstrosities of black and silver. No bonds of blood did they share, nor conviction did they have to guide them. A crushing defeat. Never had we known such shame. Still now are the winds, though none could feel the wings burdened by ignominy. We fly no more, only sink into oblivion. Metal monsters. A visitor, not of this star. Could thy slender hands bring plague to our world? Thy breath extinguish life's feeble flame. Oh, how we would adore thee. Alas, with time our flesh shall wither, our souls fade, and so we wait for its inexorable march unto oblivion. If thou art not come to hasten our demise, I bid thee leave us. We crave not companionship, only silence. Thou wouldst bid me speak? Folly. I observe the lesson of stone. I shall not fly, nor speak, nor roar. Only watch, and wait, and end. But one side yet stirreth my blood, tempteth me to raise my voice in lamentation. Agnol, the cradle of unsung dragons. No words, no songs are possessed of the weight to describe such tragedy. Go, if that be thy will. I shall remain. The nomenclature of places matches that of those found in Dravania, so maybe. They led you here as well, did they? It was described to me as the source of their woes and proof of their end. I think I'm beginning to see why. It's a hatching ground, or was. I have seen similar on Etheris. Midgard Sommer's kind must once have lived and thrived in a place such as this. Virdra said his father was driven from their ancestral home by war and strife. This, then, is the fate of those who remained. Let's have a look around. Maybe these eggs have more to tell of what happened here. I just remembered that Omega had something to do with the death of the dragons, maybe. Or something like Omega. So maybe Omega was that machine? Inside the shattered egg, you find the remains of an unborn dragon. The body has already begun to decompose. The gelatinous, half-dried membrane covering the corpse suggests it failed to emerge. A murky liquid has pooled inside the eggshell. The noxious fetor is indicative of contamination. Gingerly lifting a large egg from the viscous mire, you peer inside and see a formless mass soaking in a pool of embryonic fluid. Your stomach turns as you return the egg to its resting place. This egg appears to have been broken from the inside out. Perhaps the dragonet within succeeded in hatching. What's this? I thought all the eggs had been ruined. If the dragonet was indeed hatched, there is no sign of it here. Or its sire, for that matter. We should look for them. You start with the cliff tops, and I'll search the plains. The boisterous howling hath been quieted. By thy hand, I presume. Everything all right? I thought I heard a dragon or something resembling one. Ah, I see what has happened here. Was that your child? Perhaps. Some eggs within Ahunol are indeed mine. If life within one did quicken, the beast thou hadst slain may be of my blood. Yet I do not recognize it, twisted and malformed as it is. Not a dragon in truth, but a reminder of our failure, a testament to our shame. Explain. They descended from the heavens, cold, heartless machines, and with them rode war and death. With fire and fury, rage and rancor, we get answer. 'Twas a long and bloody battle, but only the beginning. Untold chaos and destruction swept over the star. In the end, the invaders were victorious. Yet when they looked upon their prize, they deemed it unfit for requisition. We were abandoned to our ruin. The survivors sought to put away their shame, to rebuild, a futile effort. In purest soil replete with ether did we once cultivate our nesting grounds, but our lands were barren, and any eggs nurtured in such desolation were fated to rot. What few survive to hatch emerge as abominations. We shall have no new progeny. But there are dragons among you capable of journeying to other stars. That there are. Many would make the attempt, each bearing a clutch of eggs. The richest stars were home to the harshest rulers, and the arrival of dragons incited contests for supremacy. When the fires faded, the wars lost and won, they too were reduced to ash and waste. 'Tis the curse of those who seek life, to be drawn into conflict, to conquer or be conquered. A vicious cycle we now choose to break. We tire of conflict, of everything. We wait now in sweet, merciful silence, free from strife and suffering, still as a stone. Wait, you claim your kind is doomed, but there is another star. They want only to brood in silence, to be left alone with their grief until time itself comes to an end, the sole reward for senseless bloodshed. A pain I understand, and wish that I did not. What fools we were. But now isn't the time for such thoughts. The others will want to hear what we have learned. Come. I chanced to gain audience with several dragons ere we returned, though I expect their tales are much the same as those you heard. With luck, they'll have learned something to help us devise a plan of action. We would hear what the dragons had to share with you, even if it's no different from what they told Uri and Jer. It would have value. Good to see you made it back in one piece. The more I see of this place, the more bewildering it becomes. Did your exploration prove eventful? Converse with any dragons? Were you able to establish any meaningful contact with the dragons? I see, they wish to escape what they perceive to be a cycle of conflict. Thank you, Sagasite and Stinian. As for our part, I believe we are more acutely aware of our confines than before. We started by traversing the perimeter of the island to see if there might be a path leading off of it. Sadly, there was nothing to be found. There's no small amount of debris floating about. Could there be enough to serve as a bridge to lead us elsewhere? No. I considered that, and so I tried throwing a stone onto a potential platform to judge its integrity, but it never reached its mark. As it crossed an invisible threshold just beyond the boundaries of this island, it vanished, only to reappear above me and fall at my feet. I would not be too quick to presume that what we see outside this space is as it appears. Which is why I returned to the Ragnarok and asked the Loporids to search for a potential path. However, the ship's instruments failed to provide conclusive data on the surrounding area. Until we know more, I think it's too risky to attempt flying to another island. What Meteion told us before, that emotions dictate reality here, might be the key. But I'm not entirely sure what emotion might manifest a bridge to lead us to safety. So what you're saying is, we have no way forward. At present, if it is indeed emotion that governs this island, perhaps it is not Meteons, but the dragons that hold us here. They tire of conflict and have chosen a path of oblivion to escape it. Or rather, they have chosen no path at all, meaning there is no way for the dragons, or anyone here on this island, to advance. A sound theory, disheartening though it may be. If that's the case, what recourse do we have? They are not like to be persuaded to help us. Their reasoning is built on a history of turmoil and strife. Without irrefutable proof, the future is not as bleak as they believe it to be. Mayhap persuasion is not the answer. Meteion meant to unmake us then and there on the Ragnarok, and she would have succeeded if not for Thancred's determination. She conceded it was strong enough to overpower the despair that otherwise rules Ultima Thule, and reshape it to a degree. Perhaps it can be done again in like manner, by overpowering the prevailing emotions. 'Twas Ultima Thule's architect, Meteion herself, against whom Thancred did pit himself in a clash of wills. Though I marked no leader among them, as such, I did chance to encounter a dragon possessed of despair far more potent than most. Potent enough, mayhap, to dictate the course for others, and thus their domain to follow. He spoke but few words, carefully chosen, their tone and timbre alone threatening to rend my heart in twain. Challenging his desire to remain may allow us to alter the island upon which we stand. Alas, I fear my vaunted rhetoric availed me naught against his calcifying heart, but mayhap one of you will fare better. Then I shall guide thee. Al-End, they call him, in the dragon tongue. Thou wilt find him nearby, eyes fixed upon the water. Well, what have we to lose? Let's get going. It must be especially interesting for Estinian, someone who at some point in life strived to destroy all dragons, to realize this. A bit more of their backstory, of their fate, of everything. Stealing has been one of the best parts of this expansion. Let's see what they have to say.
He remaineth as he was when I first approached, entombed in melancholy.
I see. Perhaps I could...
I'll handle this.
The music.
So, waiting to die like all the others, are you?
Really cool voice. Aye, our pride is crushed and our souls corrupted. The winds are stilled and the heavens offer no comfort. There is nothing left for our kind. Our long lives a curse as we await the end. Still a stone we shall become.
So you say. Yet your kind has found a new beginning on our star. One of you braved the Expanse, bearing with him a clutch of eggs. They and their children now rule our skies, their song heard by all.
Our king? On another star? And yet, upon thee do I smell the blood of my brethren. Were they drawn into discord and war on their new home? Yeah, kinda.
They were. They suffered much, and repaid their suffering in kind.
It mattereth not whither we fly. Ever will a sanguine ocean await us. Ever will retribution's wheel turn. And so, on the last of my pride as a dragon, I break free of this wheel. I renounce conflict, exile myself from the other, never again to be touched by the flames of hatred.
Had your brethren made the selfsame choice, my family might still be alive. Yet lasting peace does not come to those who simply retreat from conflict. No, you must be willing to confront it, to stare into the face of your foe, and see yourself in him. Only then can you break the cycle of torment and tragedy. This lesson, a dear friend taught me at the risk of his life. There is no nobility in your penance. You wallow in self-pity. And after everything we've endured, we will not let you stop us.
Ooh. Okay.
Meteion!
Stay back!
We tired of war. We tired of turmoil. Dignity tarnished, crimson stained. Our misery, our shame, too much to bear. Release us from war, from life.
I see. Theirs is the emotion that bars our way. The rest is up to you.
Oh, what? What?
No! Not Estinian too!
There's a wind.
He's opened the way for us. Sacrificed himself to remake this place, like Thancred did.
What?
Oh, Alphino. Come. Let us follow the wind. It will not lead us astray. He would not.
But... Okay, wait. I wonder if this is temporary, because both deaths have been extremely sudden. I don't know. The wind has stayed the fog that covered this island, and the air, it no longer feels quite so stifling or stifling. I also love how the music is changing. As by the beating of mighty wings doth wind blow, where dragons may never again touch the sky, he and the shade he bore shall soar free. I'm not going to read that again. If I had known this place would claim Stenian too, No, it's what had to be done. Must this always be the price paid for safe passage? Look there, the wind. This is Stenian's doing, I'm sure of it. We should ride its flow and see where it leads. He did it. He found a way forward for us. The dragons remain trapped within a prison of their own making, lamenting the horrors of war. Yet Stenian knew them better than most. He was a man of honor and a dear friend, willing to fight to the very end for what he believed was right. And he's still fighting, Alphino, just like Thancred. Their sacrifices are why we can survive here, why we still have a chance to stop her. Even in spirit, they are unwilling to give in to despair, and we mustn't either. Alice is right. We must press on, for their sake. We have to keep going. Even if Stenian isn't here to see it, I'm sure Alphino wouldn't want to disappoint him. No choice have we but to march onward, lest we squander their noble sacrifices. To feign bravery with bold words is a simple matter, but without the strength of will to match, we are powerless against dynamis. Not less than unshakable conviction will suffice, which makes me question if I am up to the task. Though it pains me to say it, we can ill afford to stop and grieve our comrades' passing. No, there will be time enough after. As Ishtola and Alice said, we must continue. Notice the change in our surroundings. Perhaps this is the memory of an altogether different world. It would be prudent to learn more of it then. Tread carefully, lest we lose our footing in this sand. If you were worried about my vision, you needn't be. I can still see quite well. Another seemingly barren world. For a mercy, the air is nowhere near as stale, but still quite dry, and the sand will no doubt prove bothersome in due time. If not for the light emitted by this glimpse, I might well have overlooked this monolith. Sand. Sand everywhere. Were it not for the violet crystal embedded in its surface, it would appear an ordinary stone. A curious script hath been etched upon them. Alas, it is not a language with which I am familiar. I cannot say I recognize it either. Nor I. The dragons, from what I recall, preserve the knowledge in song and screw the written word entirely, so we may assume this is the work of another race, one we have yet to encounter. Meteion claimed the dragon's world suffered a slow death, seeking the release of oblivion. What life we find here, like as not, doth wend its way towards a similar end. What do you suppose that is over there? The tower? I'm not sure. It's hard to make out at this distance, but its surface seems to bear the same crystals as this monument. Meaning there's a chance we may find whoever built them both. We should go and have a look. Come on. It's like a building with a crystal. Ghostly figure. What the hell is this? Haha, cool. Hail, travelers. This is a most unexpected occurrence. It speaks. Oh, hello there. Is this your home? Indeed it is. Ah, forgive me, I had forgotten. An exchange of introductions is expected when first meeting those with whom one is unacquainted. With the vibration of vocal folds, what's still required to convey our thoughts and intention, Ea, I believe, was the pronunciation used when referring to our people. Though it is not entirely applicable given our present state, you are welcome to use this appellation. As for nomenclature to address my individual person, I believe it would be pronounced Kapkukt. Kapkut. Yes, Kapkut of the Ea. How do you pronounce that? We have encountered beings that communicate intermittently through thought, but never one that is wholly without voice. I presume we're having this conversation via the medium of ether, or dynamis, as this space is suffused with vast quantities of it. Fascinating in either case. I gather your response to my presence is positive then. That is well, for there is something I wish to ask of you. Like yourselves, we Ea are ether-based lifeforms. Therefore, it may be surmised that your bodies are of comparable biological composition to those of which once possessed. I have a number of queries regarding your subjective perception of the five senses: sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell. In total, I have prepared 198,712,180,827. I don't know how you read that. That's rather a lot, isn't it? Ah, my apologies. I have omitted a great many details necessary to understand the nature of my request. Though we dispensed with our corporeal vessels long ago, we have rediscovered the need for the flesh, and have endeavored to recreate our erstwhile forms. However, all pertinent records have been lost due to the passage of time. Take, for example, the nervous system. It is well within our power to recreate, but we have no frame of reference for sensations once experienced by our people, which may compromise our ability to interact with our physical environment. And the reason you need to regain corporeal forms? Why? To bring an end to our existence. Everyone here wants to die. Though need is perhaps too strong a word, it would be a simple matter to unmake ourselves through the use of etheric exsanguinators, but such a death seems inadequate. The traditionalists among us believe proper death requires an inescapable sense of impermanence in one's final moments, an experience found only with bodies of flesh. We should very much like to hear more of your plans. In exchange, we will answer any questions you have to the best of our ability. Such an exchange of information would indeed prove useful. Very well. To ensure efficacious exchange, I hereby invite you to our home. Yes, the abode of the Ea, where we, traditionalists, prepare for our demise. I presume your consent to answer questions is indicative of the tacit approval of our plans, in which case your cooperation is greatly appreciated. I must caution you, however, to be mindful of the Eos wandering the desert. Their desire for bodies of flesh could be described as overzealous. Now, if you would follow me. This is going rather smoothly. Not that I'm complaining, mind. Even so, we mustn't forget their aim is oblivion, much like the dragons. Though I fail to see why a civilization so seemingly advanced would choose to unmake all they have created. At any rate, we will find no answers dallying here. Let us be on our way. They say there will be others, but I don't know what I was expecting. Something tells me we have different definitions of the word abode. The Isle of Dragons was shrouded in silence of the dead, yet the stillness here doth suggest that the Ea are, by and large, merely sleeping? I should not be surprised their concept of a village is so different from ours, and yet more violet-colored crystals. I cannot place my finger on it, but there is something unsettling about them. Welcome to our abode. Most of our compeers, you will find, remained idle in their domiciles, though your quizzical expressions indicate my phrasing is unclear. I speak, of course, of the violet crystalline constructs hanging from the stone structures there. You say they remain idle, but what of your work to regain corporeal bodies? An astute question, and understandable given your finite nature. We have no desire to pursue our research, for it is no longer necessary.
What?
If, in our idleness, we are struck by sudden inspiration, we rise to pursue said inspiration to its conclusion. That is why I was present for your arrival, and why I continue to engage with you still. But while the others are not currently in a motile state, rest assured they would not object were you to disturb their respite. You need only cast your thoughts towards one of the crystalline domiciles to communicate. Weird! You cast your thoughts toward the crystalline domicile, but there is no response. Oh. You wish to speak? Very well, pray, a moment if you would. Why we seek our end, you ask? If you wish to know, I will tell you. Just a moment, I must remember. What form did I take when last I emerged? The strange moaning comes and goes, but soon fades into silence. Did your inquiries yield satisfactory responses? I see. If they fail to answer, then it is likely because their minds have unraveled due to prolonged idleness. They are naught but concentrated ether now. Worry not, there are no others who have need of those lodgings, and they will not provide a hindrance to remain as they are. But more importantly, you said some few did answer your request for an audience, yes? I imagine they will be with us ere long. Woo! Level 90! I had no luck, but everyone has fared well enough. Quite a few Ea have awakened. Ah, there they are. They're cute. Fun little creatures. May I introduce you to... oh god. Lalak, Dudek, and Neneg. It has been too long, Cupcood. I dare say Sadar 4 has since completed an orbit. Indeed, until the travelers brought it to my attention, I hadn't noticed how unraveled of some had become. Travelers? Ah, of course, the ones who wish to know why we seek to regain corporeal forms. The truth of the matter is as plain to see as thy neighboring systems, but my single account would fail to satisfy the requirement for scientific objectivity. Thus did I bid them awaken you. Am I the only one who struggles to tell who is speaking? Nay, thou art not. In the absence of corporeal forms and the divergence they afford, mayhap such similarity in voice is unavoidable. By the way, Cupcood, have you already observed the requisite custom for the travelers? That which one is expected to do when receiving guests? A matter of proper form? Ah yes, so long has it been I had completely escaped my mind, and still does. What was it again? I can't seem to remember. Neither do I. Pity, I was hoping you would. Perhaps we can search the archives for the answer. Come now, Netnik, the archives have long been frozen, lest we subject ourselves to further dolor. Surely you recall that much. Ah, of course, food! The custom is to serve food. Beings of flesh such as they must regularly replenish their ether. By contributing to their replenishment, we communicate our friendly intention. That's right, that's right. We duly invite you to join us in communal repast, after which we may engage in leisurely conversation. If we have a chance to learn something, then I see no reason to decline. Excellent. If you will care to follow, we shall feast you on the purest ether. How am I gonna eat ether? To think that I had forgotten what had become of the archives. How much has my essence deteriorated since I was awake? Not that I am averse to having my mind fade away in this manner. It isn't so unlike the natural degradation of one's flesh. How delightful! Throughout the universe, but few races have completely shed their flesh as we have. As a result, we seldom receive visitors from other systems. Extreme differences can inhibit meaningful interaction, you see, and none more so than those which affect communication. Most entities, for example, cannot even comprehend our words. Yes, you are rare indeed in your ability to do so. You availed yourselves of dynamism, yes? It is an impressive application, even if it is ultimately pointless like all the rest. How much ether would be adequate for your kind, I wonder? As I recall, there is a fine line between optimal satiation and violent sickness. This facility is where we replenish our ether. There is no particular name for it, but we, traditionalists, sometimes use the word restaurant. Now then, if you would take your place with our comrades, the space will soon be awash with purest ether. Please absorb as much as you like. We were told to stand whatever we like. This strikes me as less of a meal and more a ritual. Judging by the construction of this facility, it would seem the IA directly draw upon the ether. Ether, they said, but I can't help but feel a bit nervous. If they are thus able to replenish their ether, the loss of vital sustenance isn't like to be the cause of their demise. If it is as I suspect, then this so-called feast, actually, let us just see it for ourselves. Fear not, we are not like to come to harm. What is going to happen? You brace yourself for a rush of sweet, sweet ether, but nothing seems to happen. Perhaps you need to wait a little longer. You brace yourself again, but again, nothing seems to happen. Just as I had suspected, as meticulously as one might recreate the ES home world, this is Ultima Thule. One cannot simply generate ether here. As recreations, our friends are oblivious to this fact, to the very truth of their existence, much like the phantoms of the recreated Amarod. However appearances may seem, we must ever be mindful that it is the memories of the dead with whom we deal. So, did you have your fill of ether? Alas, we couldn't absorb it. A deficiency in our forms, it would seem. Oh, how very unfortunate. May I ask how you normally replenish your ether? Food. Through your mouths, you say? How very primitive and quaint. To think that their mouths serve not only to expel sound, but draw in sustenance besides. Such life forms have long since vanished from our systems. Though we regrettably could not partake of your magnificent feast, rest assured we feel your welcome most keenly. In the course of acquainting ourselves with your sophisticated ways, however, we could not fail but wonder, wherefore do you wish to obtain vessels of flesh and thence to vanish? Will you not favor us with an explanation? You flesh and blood beings are always so hasty. It does have its charm, however. Very well, we shall indulge you. In the beginning, when the Ia yet possessed corporeal bodies, our ancestors dedicated themselves to the pursuit of knowledge and technological advancement. By transcending all limitations, we believed we would eliminate sorrow and abide in true happiness. From the tangible such as lands to the intangible such as labor, there exist myriad hindrances to progress, but the most confining of all was the flesh itself. Our natural lifespan was distressingly middling, you see, too short to enjoy unhurried lives, yet too long to be considered disposable. Furthermore, to simply maintain the integrity of our bodies demanded considerable resources. But we managed to solve this problem. After long years, we discovered how to become non-corporeal entities with everlasting lives, untroubled by the failures of the flesh. Thus changed, we had more time and freedom to continue our scientific pursuits. We went on to make ever greater strides in our quest to transcend all limitations, until we finally decided to challenge the last of them all, the limit of knowledge. That is to say, deciphering the laws of creation. We sought to discover how the universe came into being and explain all extant phenomena, and thence predict the future. If we could but achieve this, we believed that we would be free from uncertainty and anxiety. And did you find the answers you sought? The same as Meteion, then, possibly? Yes, we did. Our efforts revealed to us a fundamental truth. Knowledge of said truth is essential for the continuation of our conversation. If you would learn more, we will share it with you. No, we mustn't. Primitive as they are, it would be unspeakably cruel to deprive them of their ignorance. They are possessed of corporeal forms, their lives readily ended. As those who have gone before, is it not our duty to warn them? What thinkest thou? We had deliberated and come to a consensus. If thou art resolved to know it, we will disclose to you the truth that we discovered, the truth of the universe. Seek us at the stone pillars just outside the bounds of the Abode. a place called Elegia. Elegia. Let me guess, the truth is the same thinking Meteion has, as everything's gonna die, everything is pointless. To defy the laws of creation would have been no small feat, even for the Ea. Nay, having eternal life and hence no sense of haste would only have made it harder. Such tremendous drive for knowledge they once must have had, and I struggle to reconcile it with the listless beings before us. Whatever answers they found, it did not bring them happiness. Like her master, Y'shtola seeketh the truth of creation. How will the truth of the Ea, who uncovered old only to desire the end, fall upon her ears? You may be intimately familiar with a problem, know it like the back of your hand, yet be powerless to solve it. In the course of my struggles, I have often been made keenly aware of this fact. I wonder, have the Ea never felt the same frustration? 'Tis true, the lack of knowledge can beget fear. Therefore, in theory, by acquiring all knowledge, it may be possible to attain peace. But as Hydaelyn told us, all those peoples who attempted to free their worlds from life's woes met with failure, and the Ea are among them, as their presence here attests. The tale we're about to hear will not be a happy one, of course. A fundamental truth. We will hear it, of course. Let us learn what has led such an enlightened people to this indolent end. Ere we join the Ea, there is one trifling matter I would fain investigate. Sagasite, Grahatia, might I trouble you for your assistance? But of course. My thanks. We shall head outside the abode if you would kindly follow me. I know not what mischief you're plotting, Urenja, but I trust you have our best interests at heart. The rest of us shall go on ahead to Elegia. Lest you worry, we won't start without you. Aye, this place shall serve. Is it the spring that you wish to investigate? No. Pray forgive me, my friends, but there is naught to investigate. 'Twas but a pretense to speak in private. You have our undivided attention? As we have established, here in Ultima Thule, those denizens of ruined stars are recreated in their twilight days. Yet one question doth arise in my mind. So faithfully formed are the simulacra, they believe themselves yet amongst the living. How dost thou suppose this is possible? Meteion has taken their hearts unto herself. Meteion made contact with them while they still lived. I couldn't begin to guess. Honestly, I couldn't begin to guess. Wait, what if Meteion visited the dragons and the Ea while they still lived? If so, she could have made their emotions her own, and with them create more faithful simulacra than had she relied on any historical account. So too did I theorize, and, upon that assumption, considered how those two races may have met their demise. According to thine own tale, Meteion perceiveth the emotions of those nearby as her own, a heightened sense of empathic intrinsic to her nature as an entelechy. In the course of her starfaring journey, if she encountered beings who strongly desired the cessation of their existence, she would be powerless before that desire. Even as she possesseth the power to grant it, the power of dynamis. This my supposition that, overwhelmed by their longing for death, Meteion did unleash dynamis and ushered the dragons and the Ea onto their doom. Of course, such was not always the outcome. Full many stars did she find already lost to ruin. In order to create a terminus, however, the fervent desire for the end is essential. Therefore, should you struggle to find a way forward, pray ask yourselves this: in the place where you stand, whose is the soul that yearneth the most desperately for oblivion? Why do you tell us this now? Ne'er again would I betray your trust. This pledge I did make to my comrades. In bringing thee into my confidence, I would remain true to my word. As for thee, let us consider it my fitting reward for the secrets I harbored for the Crystal Exarch. I once placed my faith in thy chosen path, walking it at thy side, full knowing that we were bound for thy demise. I ask now that thou returnest the favour, and abide in faith as I fulfill mine own destiny. If you say my debt has come due, how am I to refuse? This indelicate of me I know full well, and I can but beg thy forgiveness. Yet even if I must needs go to such lengths, I cannot well feign ignorance of the answer I have found within. The answer to the question, in what moment might I stand strongest? After all we've been through, I will say only this. Do what you must. Do what you must and see your conviction through. I shall, my friend, I shall. Without further ado then, let us go to join our comrades. Let us be off to Elegea. I understand you have taken care of business. If you are ready to begin, then so we are. So are we. While we waited, we mentioned our star's situation to the Ia. They nodded sagely, or something to that effect. Come, let us hear the Ia's tale, and learn what caused such enlightened beings to crave nihility. Don't mind me. It would seem your star too has been plunged into a panic-induced cataclysm. We hope that our tale will not serve to exacerbate it. Oh, you are here already? Your comrades said you would be late. Your companion in front, the one called Ishtola, she seems the keenest to learn the truth. I pity her. We have prepared for our recounting. To facilitate comprehension, the information will be simplified to match your primitive minds. Thank you. It seems everyone is accounted for. Shall we then?
Please continue. Tell us about this truth you discovered.
Very well. Bear in mind, however, that the purpose of this conversation is not to impart scholarly knowledge, for such requires that you comprehend the subject matter, which you will not.
Never would have guessed that's what their voices sound like.
We will forego the intricacies of our scientific methodology and deal only with the conclusion, the end of our society and our world. We acknowledge, with regret, that your star is in the midst of the same panic-induced cataclysm that befell Denet 3.
So they also have their final days.
As such, in order to avoid causing undue distress, we will refrain from explicitly stating how much time you have remaining.
You are entirely too kind. I pray you recount your tale as you see fit.
In the beginning, the universe was but a tiny particle. Then suddenly, this particle began to expand. Having remained entirely in the bounds of your star, the phenomenon may be difficult for your kind to grasp. But this expansion has since continued unabated. Speculating that the universe could not grow indefinitely, we sought to learn what might occur, and made a worrying discovery. The stars will continue to spread apart, as will their finite thermal energies. Eventually, all heavenly bodies will grow cold and freeze. No new stars will be born, and the universe will enter into an eternal ice age. In hopes of proving that this determination was erroneous, we scrutinized our research from all angles, even as we sought to avert the everlasting winter. The endeavor proved fruitless. So infamously so, in fact, that it became synonymous with vain effort. The the universe as we know it would end. And there is no way to prevent it. Beneath the weight of this knowledge, our society stagnated. Though we had time still, it was a cold comfort. Why strive for anything when desolation is assured? When our wealth of wisdom, accumulated since the dawning of our kind, would be forever lost. No civilization would rise from our ashes. No scholar recover our knowledge. In silence unbroken, naught would stir. Intellect was once our pride. Overnight, it became our shame. Our works, monuments to futility. Immortality, our greatest invention, became a source of suffering. Rather than suffer on, many chose to unmake themselves by means of etheric exsanguinators. Etched upon these stones are the testaments of such souls. Though many left no words at all, thinking it a pointless gesture. Once we have obtained vessels of flesh, we likewise intend to vanish. If you understand this, understand aught of our tale, you will abandon your quest for knowledge. Ignorance truly is bliss. If you would cling to your illusory happiness, remain primitive and pure. It is the only way.
So that's your story. While I appreciate your advice, I will not heed it. Convinced though you may be of this truth, it is yours and not mine. Indeed, truth, I have ever believed, is in the eye of the beholder.
Are you suggesting that we have reached a faulty conclusion? That our science failed us?
Hardly. As you yourself said, the subject matter is beyond my comprehension. And that, I accept, is true. I do not possess the knowledge to prove or disprove your conclusion. In my mortal years, I doubt I could even approach the wisdom of the air. But of one thing am I absolutely certain. I would not be happier in ignorance.
Y'shtola, no! You mustn't!
He knows.
The most important lesson I've learned is that learning isn't simply passing one's eyes over words. Nay, it is when understood for oneself that knowledge attains its true value. This is what has sustained me, driven me onward in joy and wonder, in anger and sorrow. The universe may end, and all may be for naught, but I will live as I always have. I will always seek out new knowledge, and no conclusion of yours, no matter how grim, can dampen my desire.
I suppose it is only to be expected. Their feeble minds cannot fathom the terrifying gravity of it all. But worry not. We consider it our duty to enlighten you, and we will not stop until you grasp the full extent of our despair.
Why always a bird?
Keep
Is it
calm
Meteion?
and listen well. Though my body will soon dissipate, there may be a way to restore it. Asm's magic. So long as our souls remain, you can use it to summon us back. But you mustn't, for it would mean losing our way forward. This I only reveal so that you can promise not to invoke the magic. We came here knowing what victory may cost, so press on. Press on, and do not look back.
I shall join thee. As subterfuge is not required, thou shalt not suffer for mine absence.
Riange.
My resolve hath never been as strong as thine. Full oft have I wavered in my decisions, and afterwards been stricken with regret. In spite of this, I may still stand with my comrades, supporting them as they attempt the greatest of feats. This truth I have learned in the course of our journey. And many though my shortcomings may be, I may also claim to excel in prophecies. My studies, into which have granted me the flexibility of mind needed to bend this malleable reality. Thus shall I hope that thou mayest have the strength to resist, and our comrades the strength to continue.
With you to urge us on, how could we possibly fail?
What's this? An extinguished civilization? Rekindled?
That's right. Our quest doesn't end here. We'll press on, and we will find you.
There. That's where you'll find me.
Is that another star?
Of the stars we visited, most were already devoid of life. And where there was life still, the inhabitants wished for death. But even death, we learned, isn't truly the end. It is but a part of the cycle of rebirth. Souls return to the star, or in its absence, a larger flow. And eventually they are reborn, alive again, to know suffering anew. True salvation lies not in dying. It lies in not being born. This is the gift I would give to you. To all life on beautiful Aetheris. To that end, we created an egg wherein life cannot quicken. That dead sun. Attain it if you can, before your friends' emotions fade away, along with their protection.
Why did Alice make that face? Fun fact, they are not wrong. I am familiar with the concept of the universe constantly expanding and keeping expanding. And even if we consider that that's going to take millions, if not billions of years, it's true. But to abandon everything... as for Y'shtola and Urianger's deaths, I don't know why they had to both go, but I'm still not 100% convinced. Never have I felt such emptiness. It's as if a part of me is gone. I'm fine. Like I said, our quest doesn't end here. Are you all ready to continue on? Then let us make for where that light's shone. Y'shtola and Urianger have opened the way for us. Some manner of EA device. If our friends awakened it, then it should be safe to use. Judging by the direction, this should be the place. Yes, I can feel it, the ether emanating from the arcane pattern. This is a portal, and no mistake, let us see where it leads. Wait, this is Omega. Amazing, yet another civilization. Attacked as soon as you arrived. Not the most welcoming of places, is it? We must try to find denizens who are amenable to conversation. We should also get the lay of the land, see how far we can go. I'll help Alfie know with that. In the meantime, you and Graha can search for friendlier folk. Apart from hostile beings, take care with your footing. I mislike the look of this terrain. Not knowing what the locals are like, you had best take care of yourselves. We'll find you once we have finished exploring. I expect the twins will seek the outermost bounds of the isle, so I propose we search the central area. There are machines patrolling here and there, sentinels in all likelihood, like those you encountered. They will most certainly attack any who venture too close. So let us avoid them, and look for others that appear more approachable. Greetings! Any requests you have of this unit should be made in a clear and concise manner. This unit has been designated M051. This unit is responsible for the supervision and operation on the on-base energy plant. Please direct any complaints or suggestions regarding the plant to this unit. This unit will respond to them as efficiently as possible. This is base Omicron, an outpost constructed to allow us to engage in combat with unfamiliar opponents. In accordance with Stigma 1's most recent orders, we are currently shoring up the base on our forces. Now we are awaiting further orders. Your cooperation is requested. It is a shame that this unit currently detects no hostility from you. Combat with a flesh-based lifeform such as yourself will prove useful to many here. While we do have data, many units lack inadequate experience. It would be of great help if you decided to engage your combat loop. Bzzzt. Additional entity detected. Look, Sagasite, the machines here do not appear hostile. Let's see if we can communicate with them. Begging your pardon, but we are searching for the denizens of this star. Unknown life forms detected. Assigning generic label Interplanetary Travelers. Greetings and welcome to the planet Bleep Bloop. The planet what? Could you please repeat that? It appears your hearing organ is unable to process the name of our tongue. It may be translated into yours as Alphatron. Our people, meanwhile, are called the Omicrons, and you stand within one of our outposts. The Omicrons, you say? What is it you do here? We are preparing for war. As we presently do not have a designated target, you have nothing to fear. Should your star become designated, however, you will be taken into custody and/or terminated. Not a little frightening, these Omicrons, but at least they seem to be forthright. I will see what else I can learn from these fellows. If you could try speaking with the others? Blip bloop. Autonomous weapon deployment complete. Vanguard armament upgrade complete. Munition levels satisfactory. Combat readiness assessment nominal. Awaiting instructions from Sir. Maintaining state of combat readiness. Measuring combat capability. Result: negligible. Subject falls outside targeted parameters. Greetings, traveler. We are the Omicrons, and our objective is self-enhancement. In order to achieve this, we venture forth in conquest to acquire combat data and resources. Most recently, we succeeded in subjugating the home world of the beings whose strength was said to be without parallel, the dragons, yes. Yet through the endeavor yielded a wealth of combat data, the star was rendered barren and unable to yield resources. A subsequent costing undetermined that the losses included exceeded the gains. Greetings, traveler. When venturing outside the outpost, beware malfunctioning units. They do not hear Sir's command, and indiscriminately attack all non-Omicrons. For the avoidance of confusion, be advised that Sir is the alias of Stigma 1. Sir issues instructions to our forces as the foremost of the 6 strategic matrices that bear the designation Stigma. You learned a few things? So did I. Ere we share our findings, however, I believe it best to step outside the outpost. Come with me. Ah, there you are. We have finished surveying the area. This will come as no surprise, but there was no way forward. There were portals like the one we used to get here, but those that worked only sent us to isolated isles. Then, as before, we must locate the embodiment of the emotion that bars the way. What of yourselves? Did you find anyone to speak with? So the Omicrons seek to advance themselves through conquest. Following their victory over the dragons, they stand ready for the next campaign, but their leader has yet to issue new commands, and so they wait. In such a place, who could it be that fits Urianger's description? A soul whose yearning for oblivion surpasses all others. Urianger said this? During our investigation, before we joined you in Elygia. So that's the way of it. Why couldn't he just say it to all of us? Given what we know of this place, it's certainly a curious state of affairs. While the dragons and the Ea longed for death, the Omicrons longed for conflict. As much as that may lead to destruction, it must be considered a distinct desire. In order to find the source of the dominant emotion, I believe we should seek out their leader, this Sir. According to M032, the first Omicron with whom we spoke, there is a console by which we might communicate with it. M032 also added that it would be pointless exercise, but that in itself I believe is worth investigating. What say you? Pointless exercise. What does that mean, I wonder? Considering the Omicron's single-minded character, the lack of new orders does seem unusual. I agree that we should seek out their leader. So, the console we seek lies on the far side of this isle. Given the nature of the ground, the route may not be entirely direct as it seems. Let us all watch our steps as we make our way. Greetings, sir. Can you hear me? Say something if you can. Awaken? Activate? Password? Well, I tried. The globe would suggest it's still operational, but how are we to interact with it? This appears to be the console, but it seems unresponsive. Would you care to take a look at it? You try touching, smacking, and attuning to the console, but there is no response. No luck, I see. But there must be a way to activate it. There must. Call one of the friendly robots.
Well, I'm out of ideas.
As am I. Operating such consoles is trying enough, but if we can't even activate it...
Perhaps there is a way. First, consider the world that has been recreated here. Its inhabitants were machines who gathered combat data to enhance themselves. And among the many wars they waged, the most notable was that against the dragons. As you've doubtless surmised, I believe this was the homeworld of Omega. Sid built a jamming device to defeat it, a device which generated massive bursts of lightning, its sole weakness.
That's all well and good, but what does that... Wait. You're not thinking to strike the console with lightning, are you?
As a matter of fact, I am. Ask yourselves this. Why would an entity as puissant as Omega not be designed to suppress the effects of lightning?
Because it relies upon it, or something akin to it, as A source of energy?
My thoughts exactly. And there is a good chance the same is true of the Omicrons and their devices. So, shall I cast caution to the wind and try something reckless and dramatic?
Yes, please. Or I could use my custom-made Omega Jammer.
You still have it! Sid and Nero's legendary device which brought low the superweapon Omega. Wait, the actual device was much too big to lug around, so you must only have the control module. And there I was getting all excited. Never mind. An old-fashioned spell will suffice.
It worked!
Oh, one of the eyes.
Communications module 1. Connection established. Transmission. Strategic Matrix Signal 1 now online. As a primary strategic matrix, you may address me as Sir. Checking for new communications. None found. All units, please maintain current state. End transmission. Closing connection.
Wait! We have questions for you. Of late, no mission orders have been issued. Why not? Has there been some manner of trouble?
Reply. The Extended Operations Unit is yet to determine guidelines for future assignments. All strategies are calculated, devised, and fashioned in accordance with said guidelines. In the interim, all citizens are directed to maintain a state of combat readiness. End reply. Awaiting query.
Can you tell us why the Extended Operations Unit hasn't yet determined the guidelines?
Unable to comply. Information unavailable or access restricted.
In that case, is it possible for us to communicate directly with the unit?
Access denied. Unable to establish connection.
Is there anything you can tell us? Have there been any abnormalities, like a threat to the star or widespread unrest?
Reply. Negative. All citizens continue to operate at maximum efficiency. If your operations are suboptimal, please proceed to a maintenance facility for evaluation. Otherwise, stand by at your designated post. End reply. End transmission. Closing connection.
I could activate it again, but I doubt it would be productive. What do you think?
If all the Omicrons really were running as efficiently as it claimed, then I doubt they were hoping for life here to end. As this Sir told us, there just haven't been any new instructions, and everyone is standing by.
Should be standing by at any rate. If there are those that are neglecting their duties, perhaps we can glean a clue from them. I propose we take another look around, and also try to find the operations unit.
I remember when we set Omega loose to deal with Shinryu, an elegant weapon we once thought, and here we are now visiting a recreation of its homeworld. I can only imagine how else these beings will surprise us. Though I never encountered Omega myself, in conceiving the means to send the Crystal Tower to the First, we borrowed much from its mastery of the Rift. Indeed, so many times did I read the report of your battle, I believe I could recite it word for word. Omega's miniature likeness also survived the future, if a little worse for the wear. I must confess, I was delighted to see it again in the present. Let us focus our search on the outpost. Alice and I will try speaking with the Omicrons this time, in the hopes we might learn something new. Meanwhile, perhaps you and Graha could observe them from a distance. These beings are systematic and routine by nature. If there are any that aren't, it shouldn't be too difficult to spot them. If there are no questions, then let us begin at once. As we came this way, I believe we spied a promising vantage point. Follow me. And here we are. I see the twins are wasting no time with their inquiries. Let us begin observing the Omicrons. They are supposed to be standing by, so we should look for any that aren't. An Omicron wandering aimlessly. Where? Ah, I see it. It has left the base. Let's follow it. It's not here, but it definitely came this way. It must have used the portal. Time to go through and see what we find. A tree. Organic? What is your query? Ah, you found it. What are you doing here? I am looking at the tree. Quite an unusual specimen. What is the device attached to it? The tree is a sample collected from another star. As it cannot survive in our environment, however, it requires life support. That is the function of the device. To go to such lengths to sustain it, is there something special about this tree? Being foreign matter, protocol requires that we study it. As this task has been completed, the specimen may be discarded. However, when I behold the tree, I am made to feel as though there is a problem. In order to become strong, we have continued to enhance ourselves. Like we did countless others, we conquered the star whence this tree came. It is the last remnant of a dead world, and there is nothing towards which it may aspire. Yet it grows, extends its branches, sprouts leaves, produces seeds. Why does it seek to continue? Why was it made to behave in such a way, and to what end? I do not understand. I see. Out of curiosity, does this pertain to your duty? No, it does not. My apologies. I shall return to my designated post and assume a state of combat readiness. So it was acting outside of orders. Perhaps it is simply a malfunctioning Omicron. These are by no means uncommon. But it may also be a unit possessed of the ability to make decisions, one not unlike Sir. I believe this bears further investigation. To endeavor to live, even if we must depend on forces beyond our control. Tell me, Sexite, one day when this adventure becomes a part of your epic, do you think I will be mentioned in it? Maybe in a footnote. You're not here so you can be in a story. Of course, why wouldn't you be? You truly think so? That would be a... Nay, I shouldn't say such things until the moment comes to pass. Never mind the embarrassment. Well, we had best get on with our task. Tracking down Sir, and understanding the nature of the emotion which bars our way. I have given them the short of it, if you would care to provide the full account. It appears the two of you made a promising discovery. Graha says you found a suspicious Omicron. That's good, because the units here were of no help. They all had the same thing to say about the Extended Operations Unit, that there's no way to arrange a direct meeting. Still, that serves to prove that it's business as usual at the outpost. But enough about us, tell me you learned something more useful. An Omicron trying to make sense of the meaning of life. None of the others were even a fraction as philosophical. This unit may well be in a position of leadership, perhaps even one of those that comprise Sir. As we know, the Omicrons invade other stars and enhance themselves using the spoils of conquest. With the technology at their disposal, they should be able to alter their bodies, be it in part or in whole. Setting aside the question of motive, if Sir, for example, wished to have an ordinary Omicron's body, I see no reason why it would be not possible. The problem is how to go about ascertaining if that's what happened. When I attempted to probe further, it promptly ended the conversation. If it is indeed Sir, I doubt it would willingly reveal its true identity. I have an idea. We use lightning on the console again, but we make it stronger, much stronger. At that moment, should the unit exhibit a reaction, that could suggest that it has a connection to Sir. An inspired idea, I dare say it's worth a try. I had a feeling you would be on board. This time, you must allow me to do the honors. I will stand guard in case your incantation draws sentries to the scene. For my part then, I will approach our suspect and divert his attention. During which time, Sagasite, I want you to observe it closely for anomalous behavior. I should mention that, shortly before you returned, an Omicron appeared from the same direction. Rather than entering the outpost, however, it headed off towards the console. At first, I assumed it was an unit on patrol, but perhaps... That could only be our errant Omicron. We must seek it out and begin our operation at once. Alright, Afino and I will stand by at the console, and when it's time, I'll unleash a veritable storm. This will work, I'm sure of it. After all, our comrades are watching over us. Come, my friend, let us find this doubt-plagued Omicron. It is you again. What is your query? You are the one that was observing the tree, are you not? Full glad I am to find you again. I have a question for you, you see, about the device which sustains the tree. Provided it does not necessitate the disclosure of restricted information, very well. Graha has begun distracting the Omicron. Soon Alice will strike the console with lightning. Observed MO-17 closely for anomalous behavior after Alice has cast her spell. An anomaly, you say? Performing diagnostic? Error confirmed. My connection to Sultran Command is suffering from intermittent failures. I must leave at once and present myself for maintenance at the nearest facility. You will excuse me. Nope. What you need, my friend, isn't maintenance. It is to confront the truth. While we spoke, our comrade struck the console used to communicate with Sir. That is the cause of your anomaly. You are connected to Sir, aren't you? Affirmative. To what end you sought to assert this fact, I do not know, but before we speak further, we must move away from the other units. I do not wish for them to know my true identity. Very well. Our friends are at the console. Let us head there. If naught is amiss with the other Omicrons, I dare to hope we have found that which prevents our advance. A little jolt works wonders, doesn't it? All that's left is to have this Omicron divulge the truth to us. This unit struggles to understand why the tree continues to grow despite being destined to die. Let us shed light on its doubts, that we may shine the way forward.
As you have surmised, I am part of the shared intelligence of Stigma 1. It was my charge to determine the optimal path to achieving my prime function. body had been abandoned by its former owner and lay unused. I took it and abandoned my own, and with it, my duty.
May we ask why you did this? From what we gather, it seems to be a personal matter.
Our kind did not always look as we do now. Long ago, we possessed frail and feeble bodies. Beleaguered by stronger races, our ancestors took to augmenting their flesh in order to defend themselves. What began with limited parts eventually spread to the whole body, and at last, a means was discovered to convert the mind into data, rendering even the brain obsolete. Such complete mechanical beings were called the Omicrons, and by their might, we came to reign supreme over the star. But even then, we did not feel secure. For we knew that the universe was home to civilizations aside from our own. Civilizations that may be stronger still than us. Rather than risk becoming the subjugated, we chose to become the subjugator. We began our conquest of the stars, that we might acquire the resources and knowledge we needed to reign supreme. We were successful in that endeavor. So powerful did we become, we could lay low even the mighty dragons. But then something unexpected happened. I began experiencing an error. I could no longer determine an optimal path.
You were malfunctioning.
I performed numerous full system scans, each time finding no issues. Yet the error persisted. It was then that I speculated. What could happen if we grew so powerful as to have no equal?
There it is.
To become stronger was essential to our existence. Our every action has been in service to this objective. But if nothing lies beyond this, can it be truly said that it was essential? Have we been engaging only in wanton destruction?
You could find no threat to justify your purpose.
The Omicrons will never leave this star. They will stand by until their reserves of energy is spent. For I have no path to offer them.
It is not our place to pass judgment on the deeds of the Omicrons. But surely, this does not have to spell the end of your people. With your power and knowledge, the possibilities are endless. Why not seek out a new purpose?
That is impossible. In the beginning, we had a higher purpose than our pursuit of power, but we lost sight of it when we so irrevocably altered our fundamental forms. When we cast aside our flesh, so too did we cast aside all that defined us. Nothing remains of who we once were. I have no aspirations. No longer can I dream. The vital spark is lost. Lost amidst circuitry and code and commands.
I believe I know how to overcome this despair. The words are ready in my mind, but ere I speak them, I want you to make me a promise. Be it across time or space, our promises have always connected us. And so I ask that you indulge me once more, that this won't be the end.
You say it, I'll do it.
Is that so? In that case, I won't hold back. First, I want to visit Ishgard with you. Properly. We scarcely had time to look around last time. I should like it very much if you could show me the sights. Next, you must regale me with your greatest adventures, in the places where you lived them, if possible. I may have read about all your deeds, but there is no substitute for a first-hand account. And last but not least, a new adventure together, unlike any we've experienced before. We'll travel the lands, cross the seas, and take to the skies upon the eternal wind, and it will be marvelous. It will. If you would humor me a moment. When we awaken each morning, how can we prove that we're the same individual who retired the night before? Through the remembrance of past events, we might say. We have our memories, yet there are times when we forget or recall incorrectly. What of our bodies, then? It is the same one, we might say, yet technically speaking, as living beings, our bodies are constantly changing. It will never be as it was at an earlier point in time. Our souls are no more immutable. On our star, people are known to inherit the souls of others, yet they are decidedly different beings. For my part, I've subjected my totality to much and more. I've made my body into an extension of a tower, blended my soul and memories with those of another self. And each time I would ask myself, what is it that makes me, me?
Were you able to determine an answer?
No. But that doesn't mean I'm confused. It simply means I'm the same as everyone else. So I posit this. Who we were need not prescribe what we now hold in our hearts. Whatever came before, what matters most is the present. For me, that is being here with my friends, full proud of how much we've grown together. So I urge you to not give up. Heed your heart's desire and hope that the future you long for shall be realized.
I cannot. We cannot. We cannot understand desire, nor comprehend hope. We do not know how to create such things.
We are not unlike, you and I. I too have struggled to find the courage to express and embrace my wants. If you like, I will tell you a tale. A tale of a world on the brink. Of a people who never gave up on the future. Of a man who realized his grandest dreams and then awakened to a grander reality.
Wow. Path of ether. Crystallized ether.
You idiot! Just once, stay with us to the end.
A crystalline path. He has paved it for us. They all leave so easily, as if it's nothing. How do they think we feel? The next time we meet, I'll give him such a flick, and that'll be just to start. That crystalline path, Graha has paved it for us. Difficult as it is, we must carry on, for our friends, and all who await us in faith. So come, let us seek the path's beginning. It appears to be near the outpost. I won't let it break me, don't you worry. I never have, and I never will. Look, Sagasite, a portal has opened. It will surely deliver us through. It must. Look up, Sagasite. It's as though the stars are being devoured by the dead sun, and that's where we're headed, into the maw of darkness. Well, here is where the path begins, and it ascends to these seeing heights. Let us make your way, one sure step at a time. Our friends got us this far. Their courage, their strength, their wisdom, their love. We owe it to them to continue, no matter how long it takes. Thancred would scout the road ahead. Ishtola and Uri and Jay would trade opinions on esoteric subjects. Graha would join in the discussion, or else chat with me and Alice say about the mission. Destiny would be at the rear, apart, yet present. All the while you could come and go, whenever you are needed, and together we would travel. All they can hear are my footfalls, my heartbeat. It's so much quieter now, but the fact we can breathe and continue on is proof that the others are still with us. They are. They are. Aren't they? The innumerable lights that shine in the distance. To think that they all could have birthed civilizations. To think that everything they built has gone to dust, their peoples lost to despair. Of the stars floating in the sea of midnight, ours is a lonely aberration. And yet, no matter how many worlds have met their ends, with you and Alice beside me, there is nothing I fear. No ocean so vast I cannot cross. Those broken stars I see, shattered, ruptured, unraveled, I wonder if there are also worlds recreated at their ends. The sight of them fills me with a sorrow I cannot describe, and a truth I cannot deny. Birth and death. Whence we came and where we'll return, a wheel from which there is no escape. The portal is barely visible from up here. Truly, we have come far. Much farther than would have been possible had we kept chasing perfect ideals as we did in the past. It is because we have known failure and frustration, that we have learned and grown from them, that Heidelin has entrusted us with this mission, with the fate of the very star. It's all a dream, isn't it? A long, elaborate dream. Any moment now, I'll wake up in my bed, still a student, grandfather alive. I would go about my day relieved as the fragments of that other life fade away. And that would be happiness, wouldn't it? But none of it... No, I won't give up these experiences. Good and bad, they are mine and they are me. Rest assured, I am fine, but thank you for your concern. What of yourself? Though we can't afford to be too leisurely, neither need we rush unduly. We have crossed an impossible distance to stand where we are now, and we're but a few steps away from a journey's end. It will be over before we know it. Me? Oh, I still have plenty of legs left in me, don't you worry. It's you I'm worried about. You always push yourself so hard for us, for everyone. And while we're here, we'll make sure to bear our share of the burden. Well, this is it. The end of the path, the beginning of whatever awaits. There will be greater hardships. We may be made to feel powerless. Yet come what may, let us have no regrets. No, let us have pride in what we have achieved. In what we achieved and how it changed us for the better. That's worth fighting for. And dying for. As they did. There are some structures up ahead, still a ways to go before we reach the dead sun. Given all this, I know how naive it must sound to hope it all works out somehow. Still, you'll forgive me if I wish for it all the same. And for you most of all. Not that you of all people need it, it's just, after all the help you have given me, for once I want to be the one to help you. This is almost... Normal. It's not unlike many cities we know, but it's deathly quiet. Mayhap the inhabitants are within the buildings, or invisible to our senses. Wrong on both counts. There is simply no one here. Meteion. This is how I found it when I arrived. Another star which once pulsed with life, but no longer. How it ended, I do not know. Invasion, sickness, suicide, none can say. None live to speak for the dead. They are gone, gone. Search all you like, but you will only end up turning back. If what Meteion says is true, what are we supposed to do? You think you've caught me? This form is barely a drop from the ocean that swells within the dead sun. Even so, I could easily unmake you. You are only still alive because of your comrades, but they cannot protect you forever. Until they fade away, I'll satisfy myself with watching you try and fail and to find a way out of this lifeless place. If there is no one here, then neither should there be an emotion to bar our way. Yet Meteion seems convinced we'll turn back. What riddle is this? Whatever Meteion may have said, we should confirm it with our own eyes. We need to have a look around. Indeed, at the very least, it doesn't appear to be a sprawling place like those before. If we split up, it shouldn't take too long to cover the area. There doesn't seem to be anyone here. Perhaps I could try calling out. Hello! If anyone has heard you, they do not respond. This place is reminiscent of a bar, but neither patrons nor staff are anywhere to be seen. Egg-shaped containers line the shelves, with a loose few sitting on the counter. Vessels for the beverages, in all likelihood. A venue bustling with activity until it was not. The object resembles a tree, and appears to have been fashioned from a stone-like material, erected in place of an actual tree, or to serve some other purpose perhaps. Regardless, there is no one left to explain, to tell the story. Were it not for the thick layer of dust, one could imagine someone drinking from this cup but moments ago. In the distance, you glimpse Alice picking her way through the ruins, but otherwise espy no signs of life. If anyone can hear me, say something. Your call echoes faintly before being swallowed by the silence. Though set slightly off the ground, this appears to be a door, while the objects to the left could be letterboxes. The door is rusted shut, and the film of dust all over suggests no one has come through in a long, long time. Sagasai, take a look at this. If the road was a little longer, we could take it to just beneath the dead sun, but I suppose this is where the reconstruction ends. How about you? Did you find anything of interest? I see. I noticed the same things. Cups left up on tables, chairs out of place. I don't know what happened here, but I do know I don't want to be alone anymore. We have searched enough for now. Let's find Alfino and compare what we have learned.
Did you find anything?
No. This place is completely deserted. And I can't see how we're supposed to move on from here.
Neither can I. It's quite the quandary. There are no denizens to bar our path, yet there is no way forward.
For another mystery, we did find signs of very recent life. You'd swear everyone just vanished into thin air. I wonder how many ruined worlds like this has Meteion seen.
Could it be? Yes. Yes, I believe I may have puzzled this out. Despite how it appears, it's no different this time. There is someone here who has wished for this ruin. And I believe that together, Alize and I can overcome their will.
Stop. Not another word.
I'm sorry, but there is a chance, and I must seize it. For everyone. And for myself. I will not pretend otherwise. I have my fears. Not for myself, but for you. The last to remain. You are no stranger to carrying the burden of others. But I can only imagine how heavy the weight would be this time. As your friend, I cannot bear the thought of making you suffer so.
Then why suggest such a thing? It's too much to ask of anyone, even her. Why must she be the one? Why must she fight alone? More than a hero, she's a dear friend. Not only to us, but to so many others. There are so many people in the world who care for you, and yet...
Alize, I have an idea. Given the nature of this realm, it may be possible to do more than unbar our friend's path. We might also pave her a new one. For instance, a path where she finds happiness at journey's end. This much, I think we can believe with the utmost conviction, no matter how deep our despair. So please, believe in us too, and press on. Thank you. What are you?
If the plan's decided, then let's not dally.
Ah, there you are. It was as I said, was it not?
It was. We couldn't find anyone. But this place isn't entirely deserted, is it? You are here. You sought out a star of promise and found a ruined husk. Like us, you explored the devastation. Like us, you were stricken. Horrified by the thought that so many lives could be snuffed out as if they were worth nothing. And the thought that you would have to bear the terrible tidings to Hermes. That which you saw and felt, you shared with your sisters. As did they share their own grim findings with you, overcome by the pervasive despair of these stars. Some of you inadvertently ushered their peoples to their ends. Knowing the horrors you know, anyone would feel the same. They would fear what lies ahead and struggle to move forward.
Fear? I had forgotten that such a thing existed. So focused have I been on shepherding despair.
If you can remember, then you can still face and overcome your own fear.
Why would I bother with such an insignificant emotion? If the despair I command is as a raging river, then fear is but a trickling stream. It can do nothing to alter my flow. You spoke with the Aya, yes? Her heard their tale of what awaits the universe. It's true. The stars grow colder and more distant. Eventually, all will enjoy frozen solitude. Using the power of Dynamis, I'm hastening that process. In so doing, nothing will be born ever again. Everyone will remain dead. Alas, it will take time for that to happen. So in mercy, I sent you my gift, to spare you needless suffering. Don't worry. Even if no living witnesses remain to mark the event, I'll make certain that Aetheris has a proper end.
For all the power you wield, you're more fearful than the familiar you used to be.
Ow.
That Meteion feared simply to move forward. But your fear is such that you've given up on everything.
Ow.
I know it well. That sense of defeat. I've tasted my fair share of it. But as many times as we've fallen down, we've learned how to pick ourselves up and carry on. We take each other's hand, share in each other's courage, follow in each other's footsteps, and turn sorrow into strength.
There are times when we fail. We bear wounds that do not heal. But these experiences are part of life, and they make us stronger.
We rise, fall,
and rise again.
Don't worry about us. You must take the next step, and all the rest after that.
Earlier in Old Charlayan.
Please, please. Oh, please let them all be safe. Cryle? Are you all right?
It's nothing. Just a headache. They'll be fine. I know they will.
Apologies for the interruption. A man arrived on the last ferry. An associate of the Scions. He wishes to speak with you at once.
An associate of the Scions? Who was it? Associate of the Scions. What could it be? Ah, must be Scions. In this city devoid of life, you sense the presence of another. The sword of 1,000 worlds weighs heavy, and yet you can walk on.
If you need a push, I'll be right there behind you.
Do not despair. You are not without allies.
I know who that was.
What we have sown in blood, we have reaped in suffering, and it cannot go on.
Upon the souls of they who have sacrificed themselves to pave the way for peace, we will never abandon our cause.
While it is true that man succumbs all too often to anger and avarice, he may yet overcome his baser instincts through the forming of bonds with others.
Such victories are rarely won without sacrifice, but the prize is worth the price.
And we for our part are glad indeed to be able to welcome friends both old and new.
Save your tears for the morrow. You may be sure we will have ample cause to shed them, be they for joy or despair.
From tragedy and sacrifice, we rise to greet a new dawn.
A future shaped by the choices we make in ways we could never foresee.
Yet miracles do happen, so let us pray and will our friends home.
That's Beck Luke.
I won't stop praying until I know they're safe.
Art thou, mortal?
Look to the light within, that you may continue to serve as a beacon to others.
Let's finish this.
Here the path ends. There is no way to reach our nest. I told you. Resignation and acceptance reign in this place. The rejection of life by those who came to curse it. Those whose dreams were unfulfilled. Whose prayers were unheard. Whose labors were unrewarded. Hope cannot deliver you unto hopelessness. Our refuge is beyond you. Always has it been. Such is the nature of this place. You should have remained on Atheris. Struggle will avail you not, nor will it grant your comrades peace. Come, let me relieve you of your burden. You've suffered enough.
Asm's magic. So long as our souls remain, you can use it to summon us back. But you mustn't.
How do we make peace?
That's why it's too soon for this to end.
There are so many people in the world.
You must triumph. Be safe, all of you, and come back.
It was all worth it.
I am ever grateful.
I came to appreciate most about our star is that there remains so much we do not know.
After all these years, is this the answer I was hoping for?
So long as we remember, our fates remain ours to shape.
And Godspeed.
Perhaps when our time comes to return to the star, we shall remember these few days we have lost. Do not squander it. The legacy I leave you.
I'll reach you. I'll find a way.
I bid them remember, but all this time I'm the one who had forgotten. A right fool you've made of me, Hermes. And to add insult to injury, I've been denied a sound rest, forced to watch this clamorous show.
Oh, come now. It's been a gripping tale. Unbreakable bonds and noble sacrifice, sprinkled with moments of levity to counterbalance the pathos. It's got it all. I, for one, would have been perfectly content to watch enraptured from the stalls. But I won't say no to a bit part.
What are you?
Half-faded souls of the dead. Isn't it painfully obvious? Worry not. We haven't the power to defeat you, nor is it our duty to do so. Not anymore. That being said, we do have a score to settle. So here I am, Vanar. I suppose you needed me to tie it all together, these frayed threads of our history. But knowing you, I suspect there's a joke in it too. Oh yes, I can imagine you gloating over my forgetfulness. Were I feeling charitable, I might assume you had left room for the possibility of this outcome. Even so, you'll get no applause from me. A single gesture will not lighten the burden I've had to bear. Still, you must be commended. Our methods would not have brought mankind this far. And so, as a show of respect to the last of us, I make this declaration. You will not end our journey. That is our answer. The answer of all lives of Atheris, past and present.
As you've called us to the stage, so shall we perform. And creation magics never fail to please. Drawing upon the hopes of your comrades, we will make for you a new path.
What form said path takes depends on you. So focus. Focus and envision that which rejects the claim that you cannot attain your goal.
Ours is the wisdom to weave the fabric of reality. Ours is the power to create.
I Field of Elpis flowers. Rainbow Elpis flowers.
Meteion. Though I gave you these wings to soar the heavens, I did not teach you how to walk the earth. So loath was I to bind another living being. In the course of your long journey, you will learn from those you meet. Learn to walk and run, and so much more. A flower. Yes. Upon your return, I will gift you a beautiful flower.
These Elpis blooms serve as proof that this realm is not utterly devoid of hope. No more can you deny its power. No more is yours the dominion of despair. In case the practical implications were lost on you, your comrades no longer need fight their fight. So go on. Call them back to your side.
May you ever walk in the light.
How disappointing. A single scar in the making to brag about.
You'll find a way regardless.
Honestly, this is far more than any of us could have hoped for. Let us be thankful.
Indeed. That we thus stand reunited is a gift. Let us not squander it, and see that we all return to Aetheris.
Aye. As soon as we've averted the final days.
Good to see you again. Our heroic sacrifice paid off, I take it.
Come, my friends. Let us carry on and finish it. Together.
Come with us.
Can you hear me? The voice is within, crying in pain, wailing in sorrow, hurting. End it. Silence it. Silence our song of oblivion.
The way is open. They can proceed.
So it seems.
Please tell me he does a hand wave.
Of course. The encore is finished, and I will not suffer myself to live again by Heideling's magic. But more than that, the future you seek is not the past we loved. That is why we fought, and why I lost. But though you defeated me, my ideals are inviolate, invincible. Spare me your pity. I have no use for it. If you would do something for me, save our star. See this tale to a triumphant conclusion, and with elation in your hearts, bid the final curtain fall. Only then may it rise again, and a new tale begin, with new parts for all to play. Tell me, have you been to the ruins beneath the waters of the Bounty? Or the treasure islands beyond the frozen waters of Blind Frost in Offerd's north? The fabled golden cities of the New World, the sacred sites of the forgotten people of the South Sea Isles. What about Mericidia, the southern continent? Do you know aught of its present state of affairs? I thought not. Even of your little Eorzea, you know precious little. The true identities of the 12, for instance.
Ah, that's the 24-man raid.
All of which is to say, expand your horizons, go forth and seek discovery. Some of the civilizations in the reflections will surprise you. As the bearer of Azem's crystal, you may consider your duty to see at least that much. I certainly did.
I pray we meet again. If not in this life, then perhaps another. Whensoever it should be, I trust it will be a most joyous reunion.
For you, maybe. I want nothing to do with it.
Oh, don't be that way.
I have a feeling I know what's gonna happen pretty soon. To go and see all those places and more, Emet has given you quite a task. Suffice it to say, I should be glad to assist you, once we have returned together triumphant, of course. It is my fervent hope that our ancient friends will find a new beginning, they and all of the brethren who have returned to the ethereal sea. For that to come to pass, we must succeed. We must avert the final days and save Etheres. For all the lives on those stars whose light hath been extinguished, for the ancients who went before us, I offer a solemn prayer. No need to explain. I have a rough idea what happened while I was gone. It was a strange feeling, as though I was struggling in a pitch-black sea. A powerful tide was trying to wash me away, one that churned with hatred and envy for life, and it was all I could do to swim against it. And suddenly, I was here. It felt long and short at the same time, hazy as in a dream. But through it all, one thing was crystal clear. You fought with all your being to keep our hopes alive. I can't claim I fully understood the workings of this place, but in that moment I felt I knew what I needed to do. I felt that it was right time to offer this life I owe, that I could risk it all on the wager that the rest of you would manage without me. Full glad I am to see I was right. As different as mysterious as the ancients may be, they were people not unlike us, the first people to fall and feel pain, and the first forced to find a way to rise again. From then we have come, and in our pain and suffering we are connected. I don't think I ever knew what to say to the man. In retrospect, it always felt like the wrong thing. But the past notwithstanding, he came to your aid in your moment of need. We are here, and we will not squander this chance he has given us. We will see this tale to a triumphant conclusion and bid the final curtain fall. Let me guess. Are you ready, Sagasite? Then let us set forth for the reckoning. Having come this far, I know everyone's resolve is beyond doubt, so I will say only this. Within that dead sun swirls the emotions that Meteion has hoarded, the emotions of innumerable souls who strove for happiness but failed. As it was with the denizens of Ultima Thule that barred our way, it is not for us to rebuke and admonish. 'Twas not by passing judgment on the tragic legacies of others that we arrived at this moment. Rather, it was by opening our hearts to the despair, by understanding and acknowledging their fates, while still refusing to share in them ourselves, to hold fast to hope, not in ignorance, but by choice. Should you struggle to do so, I am here to help, as you have all helped me. Let's put an end. No, we will prevail.
So you are finally here, in this place between death and rebirth, where life knows no dawn. Come then. Follow me down into the darkest depths of despair.
Yeah, this is the place.
Once upon a time, there was a beautiful blue star that fell to pestilence and rotted inside and out. The more its people clung to life, the more they suffered. Until they cursed not the illness, but their fellow corrupt. Those who lived and festered. Those who died decayed.
Aiming.
And the very last of them wished they had never been born at all. In a faraway place, a brilliant star eradicated disease, before destroying the self-same lives it had saved.
Resuming peace protocol. All life forms must be exterminated to achieve peace and perpetuity. aiming.
And when one asked, what is the point? There were none left to answer.
I did it. I killed them all. I killed them all. Bleak. The
Father still existed a star without strife, where none remembered life's trials or its joys. What its people had gained from ease, they lost to apathy.
Creepy. Reminds me of Journey. The Last Mercy, Rala. It smiles. Okay, Thancred, do you think?
So they created the kindest, most gentle of beasts.
Okay.
That you still stand. Your determination defies all reason. The souls within me writhe and recoil in your presence. What must I do? What pain must I visit upon you to make you surrender to despair?
No one is unbreakable. What pains one may weather may bring another to tears. But therein lies our strength. For when we fall, our brothers and sisters are there to raise us up, again and again, without end.
I see. But no matter how much hope exists, ever will there be more despair. Sing until life ceases to be.
Holy shit.
7 hells.
On your guard.
The rage. It rises. Rises. We die in pain. We die in suffering. Who are you to live? Who are you to hope?
Hold on, my friends.
Oriange, watch out!
Alphino!
We cannot comprehend. We cannot know. We cannot know!
Don't, please! Don't do this to them! To yourself!
Just one good strike.
Stop! Please stop!
We will not suffer alone. All will know our pain.
No, you don't!
Haha. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, damn.
All awash in ice, a frozen waste, forever silent.
Oh, the thing. No.
Wait!
You gifted them escape and rendered yourself powerless. Bereft of the synergy you claim is your strength. Unless you need to call upon the dead once more. Defiant to the last. But you will be one with us ere long. You will be battered and torn and made to crawl. You will weep and wail and curse your impotence. Curse your life as it fades. As we did. As we died. Such pain and sorrow we felt. Such anguish and rage. We tried. We tried. But it was no use. Only when we surrendered did we find release. Only when we embraced death. So join us in despair. And embrace yours.
Never.
My ultimatum. What is happening?
Thancred again?
At the end of everything, I'll find you, my friend. I sought something in you once, as you did in me. When at last I understood what it was, I journeyed to Sharlian to seek you out. Struck a bargain with the woman who shares your gift. In exchange for lending the Scions my aid, I was given the means to come hither. Gorging upon what remained of the Mana Crystal, I reclaimed the form of the dragon. And, hungry still for our reunion, I rode the light of the stars to you. I take it this is your prey. But why does it still live? Surely it is no match for it. I assumed you would be above something so banal as despair. Am I mistaken?
I don't want your help, or if it comes to it, I won't save you. Both are good. I don't want your help. Get away from me.
And I'd rather not give it. Nay, I would have preferred that we enjoy a private reunion. So come! Let us dispense with this distraction, you and I!
You struggle in vain. You will not silence our song of oblivion.
Oh, come on. Uno más. The final day. I need to rest my ears a bit. It's so good. I'm gonna say something in Spanish, directed specifically to educa tus oídos. Lo que es bueno. Oh, here we go. Ah.
The deliverance you seek.
Our hunt ends this day. There is nowhere you can flee that we cannot follow.
'Tis so lonely between the stars.
Uh-oh. 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 What the hell's that?
There is only one place it may be found.
Time to break, maybe? Too early!
No matter. You only delay the inevitable. This is fate.
He's doing it again. Oh shit.
Your time has come. It always does.
Resist oblivion with all your being. How?
No! The hatred, the pain, the loss. We cannot suffer it again.
We will stand against fate.
No matter the cost.
We've been here before. Many a time.
Thus do we know.
To never give up. The hope will shine again.
What we saw. What I saw. This can only end in misery and desolation. No life, no star, nor the universe itself. None should hope for better.
Oh.
If this was not the answer, then what is it? Where lies happiness?
Meteion.
No matter where we flew, there was only darkness and loneliness and pain. We couldn't find the answers Hermes yearned for. The answers he deserved. Greetings, you who are my final encounter. I wish to hear your words, share your feelings, know your thoughts. May we please be friends? Yes, I can see them. The memories of a long, long journey. So many people. The thoughts of them overflowing in your heart. What they live for. What gives their lives meaning. There was never a single answer. You gather pieces of happiness, precious and fragile, only to lose them, then start again. On and on it goes, until death takes you into its gentle embrace. That which Hermes sent us to find was there all this time, on Etheris.
We created it together.
Like a field of flowers, perhaps. At first a single blossom. It spreads and takes on more colors. Thank you for guiding me here. To find these words at journey's end fills me with joy. And so, before I fall forever silent, there is one thing I must do. No expression of regret will undo what my sisters and I have done, or restore what we have stolen. But if you would allow it, I would sing one last song. A song of the newfound joy that swells in my heart. Of the beauty of light when it shines across a dark and starless sea. Of a dream that from the soil of worlds now lost to sorrow, life will spring forth once more. Nourished by gentle rains and caressed by uplifting winds. A song of hope. One day, life will fill the universe again, and Hermes will see this and smile. How, I do not know. But I do know that where there is a will, there is a way. After all, miracles happen every day, do they not? I will create a path back to your ship, where your dear friends await. Hold in your heart your desire to return to them, then follow my lead and walk forth. That hope will surely guide you true.
You mean to return to the world where you are hailed as a hero. Hear me then. Not as a hero, but as simply you. As I learned in Alamigo, you are a formidable foe. Stronger than any I have faced. Against you, I need bring my all to bear. I need burn through the candle of my life. This is the sole pleasure I know. And it is the sole pleasure I have to share. And so I come before you to issue challenge and offer singular bliss. If you wish to walk away, I will not stop you. You value life. You do not burn yours save for reasons you deem worthy. Reasons such as those which brought you here. The salvation of a world and its people. The motives of a hero true. But there is more to you than that. You know this to be true. As surely as you know the thrill of pushing your body and soul to their limits. Of confronting ever mightier foes, dancing ever closer to the precipice, wondering if this will be the one to finally fill the void. Such pleasures you seek for their own sake, and no other reason. Is this not so, adventurer?
I've had enough of you. It ends here.
Ha! Finally mustered the desire to kill me, have you? Go on then. Try and strike me down in this forsaken place. I shall return the favor. Aye, let us indulge in the only worthwhile pursuit and burn our lives to their end.
Oh no, uno más. If I fail, I'm doing it in very easy. I want to finish this story.
Nothing back! Push yourself to your limit and me to mine! I know you too. The inferno swelling within you.
Oh no.
Come! Let all creation be consumed by our ravenous fervor! I have you!
Ow! 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 Ow!
Do not tell me your life's fire is already spent. Yes! Yes! Rise once more! It mustn't end yet! No, not yet. Not until the last of me is spent.
Come on!
This is my moment! Our moment!
Good old fisticuffs. Brother! Reminded me so much of that fight. Oh no.
That I should lose again. How disappointing. Never have I understood those around me, understood their obsessions. Besieged by their banality, the world is a mire of tedium and trivialities. But in these fleeting moments, there is a spark, blinding, brilliant. Gone too soon. What of you, my mirror? Born into this world, bestowed name, bid to seek out strife and adventure. Was this life a gift or a burden? Did you find fulfillment?
I guess it's over. At least the playable part. I guess.
Can you hear him? Safe. Must tend to... Open your... Please.
Someone, and...
Please.
You can't leave us! Not like this! If you do, I'll never forgive you! So come on! Open your eyes and get up!
Same music from the end of A Realm Reborn.
Are you with us?
I think so.
Thank the heavens. For a moment we thought...
Is everyone alright?
After what you've done, you're the last person to be asking that. You... How can you keep your promise if you're not here?
Another fine show you've put on, my friend.
A fine show indeed. What were you thinking? Fighting alone? Never do that again. My poor heart couldn't bear it.
Put yourself in our place. If you hadn't returned, how do you think we would feel? And if that sounds harsh, it's because we care.
We tended to thy wounds as best we could, but how is the pain?
Excruciating.
That is gladdening. Grievous as thine injuries were, however, I would counsel repose for a time.
Gladdening! There's nothing gladdening about this. When Meteion appeared in here and told us that you were right behind her, we all got our hopes up. But you never came. And when you finally deigned to appear, you're within an ilm of your life. Damn you! Damn you for making us worry!
Oh, those were cries of celebration! Anyway, well, the important thing is that you're all alive and in reasonably good health, and we mean to get you back that way. As for your earlier request, I'm quite certain we're in range to make contact now.
The MEPs. On the board, it's
excellent.
Perfect.
Let us announce our return at once. I hope you're ready.
While you were unconscious, we set out from Ultima Thule, you see. Can you stand? If so, you may wish to see what's outside. We're home, my friend. We're home.
Nomacja.
Is that? It's the Ragnarok! We're back!
Thank heavens. Truly.
They've done it!
Home. Yes!
Niet Hannes er at least.
Welcome home, everyone!
Oh man, I need that. That was nice.
Dearest mother, dearest father, this letter will be the very last that I write to you from the rising stones. As I commit these words to parchment, I fondly recall my journey as a scion. The time I first walked into the Order's former halls, to the time I set forth to forestall the final days. At the farthest reaches of the Sea of Stars, we fought the battle of our lives. Fought against despair itself. A veritable maelstrom of it, fed by the resignation that dwelled in the hearts of beings not so unlike ourselves. Full oft have I harbored the same malaise. Have I been brought to my knees, crushed by the weight of sorrow and defeat, convinced that I will never rise again. However, I have also known many moments of unbridled joy and happiness. By this truth do I find hope within, blooming resplendent, like the Elpis flower. And thus do I endure. Do I look forward to creating more memories with my friends and loved ones. For from these fertile seeds, yet more hope shall spring forth. And they will grow to become shining lights that illuminate the dark. Thus believing, I leave the rising stones behind, as will my comrades. For, as we have decided, after careful deliberation, we are disbanding the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
There you are, Alphino. Everyone is already gathered in the foyer.
My apologies. I'll be right there. At least, that is what the story will be. Sorry to keep you all waiting.
What could you possibly have left to do now?
Oh, just a letter.
I imagine it will be a while before we can gather like this again.
So it must be, if we're to keep up appearances. From now on, it falls to the Grand Company of Eorzea and its allies to deal with the realm's crises.
Meanwhile, we shall return to our erstwhile ways. Retreating from plain sight to take our place in the shadows once more.
Indeed. For the foreseeable future, I expect that we must work independently as we seek out problems that want for solving. But a day will come when we face another great challenge, and we will face it together, as we always have.
As much as I look forward to that day, I do hope it doesn't come anytime soon.
Well, formal association or no, if any of you should require my services, you need but ask. I'll be glad to keep my lance arm honed.
I'll hold you to that. So you had better keep your link pearl on hand.
So you really mean to stay, Tataru?
Oh, someone has to keep the Rising Stones in proper order. And even a super-secret organization requires a super-secret base of operations. To the rest of the world, it will be naught more than a workshop for Eorzea's foremost up-and-coming artisan. If you thought our coffers were full to bursting before, just wait till I can devote myself wholly to the crafts.
Plotting to build a mercantile empire to rival that of Lord Lodorito, are we?
I, for one, look forward to your future successes, Tataru, as do I our next meeting.
And with that, I believe it is past time you all made ready to depart. Leave no preparations undone or words unsaid, all right? Now, off with you.
Saga said, seen to your preparations, have you? I'm just making another sweep of my belongings. Wouldn't do to find I have forgotten something halfway to my destination. Oh, in case you haven't heard, we have received new reports detailing the devastation caused by the final days. It appears the situation is gravest in the lands surrounding the Bounty, where the sky first began to burn. After that, the calamity was observed in the far north, in Garlemald and the frozen lands beyond. We also had reports of the heavens catching fire in isolated locations, one of which was an area in the northern Empty. Had our quest taken any longer, Sharlayan too may have come under threat. Thank goodness it's over now. To be sure, blasphemies and lesser beasts may still be roaming about, but those localized crises should be well within the capacities of each nation to handle on their own. The Scions are no longer needed. Which isn't to say that we won't help out where we can, of course. As individuals, no more of this ordered business. For my part, I'll be heading to Garlemald with Alphino. They were among the worst affected, and still need all the help they can get. It won't be easy. An inevitable part of aiding those in need is coming face to face with tragedy. Knowing it doesn't make it any easier though. That I'll curse my weakness. My inability to fix every problem and save every lost soul. But no matter how much it hurts, I won't give up. I'll do what I can for as many people as I can, begrudging no effort. And should I find myself discouraged, I'll remember you. Think back fondly to one of your many moments of triumph and the accompanying determined expression. Even those that still annoy me in retrospect, like when you activated the teleporter without warning. And should you hear about me, I want you to remember too. Remember that I'm out there somewhere, trying my very best. I look forward to hearing all about the legendary Alice Levelier. Not that I'm trying to become famous or anything. That being said, the next time we meet, I'll be vastly improved, so don't be surprised when you find yourself marveling at me. Sarasite, thou hast spoken with our comrades. Though this parting be not forevermore, this nonetheless occasion for sorrow. Akin to a pixie's path, the navigation of such farewells is a perilous endeavor indeed. For their part, however, the Loporids embark upon a new beginning. Though bereft of its purpose as a vessel, the moon yet remaineth hospitable for the creatures of Aetheris. Thus do our lunar visitors convene with the Forum, intent upon assigning some new and beneficial role to our solitary satellite. Yet ere may that come to pass, there is much and more each party must learn of the other, a process which doth promise to be eventful indeed. To that end, a cadre of Loporids have gleefully dispersed across our lands in the name of mutual understanding. Hydaelyn, this said, did imbue them with her love for all things born of this star, and this Venar's own nature, I believe, which doth manifest in this irrepressible, inexhaustible curiosity of theirs. Having witnessed that which they strove to achieve, I wish most keenly for their long labours to be rewarded, that their abiding affection for man result in a boon for all. Moreover, I hope to continue our acquaintance and share in such knowledge as they see fit to impart. Acquaintance? I would call it friendship. I did not wish to presume. I would be honoured should they consider me a friend, for it is certainly true that I have grown fond of their company. But I shall digress no further. This day should belong to the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, to mine incomparable companions. Oftentimes hath mine reticence caused thee grief, and mine actions spurred allies to suspect betrayal. And yet, here amongst you I still stand. No amount of words could express my gratitude for thine acceptance and forgiveness. Thus, instead, I do prefer my humble support, be it under the deepest abyss or the highest heavens. Even if I must needs founder across stormy seas, ever shall I answer thy summons. Our champion and savior. I was beginning to think my chance for an audience would never come. That sounded more amusing in my head. Speaking of heads, I was worried about yours, and the rest of you for that matter. On the mend, I trust? Glad to hear it. You were in a bad way, and healing magics or no, I'm impressed by how swiftly you have recovered. Then again, 'tis hardly the first time you have cheated death. Your strength of will has never failed to astonish me. Look at what you have accomplished. Meteion defeated, her Song of Oblivion cut short, the source and all her reflections delivered from the final days. If you had faltered at the least, then all hope would have been lost, but you held fast. Now Reen has a tomorrow to look forward to, and I could ask for no greater gift than that. As for a lesser gift, however, the next time you see her, I would appreciate you not describing my travel plans with Urianger as aimless wandering. We have a purpose in our roaming, after all, keeping an eye on things in the absence of the science on the world stage. There will never be an end to the little problems that go untended by nations. We will do our best to help out where and when we can, which I suppose is an approach not far removed from aimless wandering when you get down to it. Perhaps you could tell them I'm faring well, and leave it at that, eh? No need to mention this feeling of being uprooted. I've never been one to stand still for long, but when I think of home, 'tis the rising stones which comes to mind. How many times have we set out from this base, thence to return when our work was done? On the day the Scions came together, I only hoped for Minfilia to find a place where she belonged, but never did I expect to find one here for myself. Indulge me, Sarasite. I have a question for you, and imagine Minfilia herself is asking. Are you glad to join the Scions? Best decision I have ever made. I can honestly say the same. But all good things must come to an end, at least for a time. Should you need a helping hand for infiltration or reconnaissance, you know who to ask. I'll come running, and you'll likely get a certain funny talking fortune teller into the bargain. If you have something to say, then out with it. Just worried how you will earn your keep now. You talk of it as if the Scions' dissolution was more than mere pretense. There may be fewer calls to action, but we should be compensated as before. Why are you so concerned for me anyway? In any case, I do not want for options, even if some are worse than others. No sooner did Aymeric hear about our disbandment than he offered me a position as a guardsman in the Imperium district. As a former Azure Dragoon, I'm guaranteed to be popular, he said. What does he take me for? Even without his meddling, I'm perfectly capable of finding employment, and have. Some days ago, a Hannish envoy arrived with word from Virtra. The worm requests my presence as soon as things have settled here. He didn't deign to mention why I'm needed, but it pertains to dragons, like as not. In Thapnir, like elsewhere, the phenomena caused by the final days abated when you defeated Meteion. Though it was too late for those who had already transformed, life is beginning to return to normal for the survivors. Of those who sought refuge in Sharlayan, most have already returned home, but many do not have a home to return to, nor loved ones. By an arrangement between Virtra and the Forum, such souls may remain in Sharlayan if they wish, to work and study. Virtra was always the satrap in truth. It's gratifying to see him become one in name as well, one who has the complete confidence of his people, if the envoy's tone was any indication. I often find myself speaking favorably of dragons of late. Not so long ago, I would have assumed his benevolence hid ulterior motives, but 'tis clear he cares for his people, and they in turn revere him. To know such a nation may flourish is comforting. Virtra's kings sought release from conflict, so weary were they of the suffering it wrought, they surrendered to oblivion. But Mirgar's Summer didn't give up. In hope he made the journey to distant Etheres with his clutch of eggs, and though his progeny went on to be embroiled in conflict with men, there were times when they transcended hatred to abide in harmony. That is their legacy and their triumph. In my lands I feel the weight of their struggle and the strength of their resolve, and it lends me strength. These things I might never have learned had I not joined you. Should you ever have need of me, I will come. At the very least, it might be an opportunity to earn coin. Oh, are we saying our farewells too? I hadn't at present planned on a journey of any great length. Not that I am averse to a moment or two of quiet reminiscence. In fact, there was something I'd been meaning to ask you. Something that has been in my thoughts since the last flames of the final days subsided. During our travels, we have witnessed more than a lifetime's worth of oddities and spectacles, more than can be easily recalled or remembered. And nestled among those memories are certain essential facts, the history of Etheres and the ancients, glimpses of the Ea, of their culture and philosophy. Rather than simply hoard such treasures in my mind, I wonder if I should not be disseminating them in formal records for wider consumption. When needed, I have penned reports and prepared briefings, but ever have I balked at the idea of binding the subject of my studies in a book or tablet. Truth is given shape in interpretation. When we seek to capture it with our words, it is invariably molded to fit a narrative, no matter how well-intentioned the rendering. An event is described as sad, a summation which fails to express the emotional complexity. Yet the world on the page is what it endures, a pale shadow of reality. Throughout history, some have deliberately embellished the truth, but I believe many, if not most, deviations are a result of similar linguistic shortcomings, piling one upon the other, until the end result is unrecognizable from its origin. Which is why I fear that writing an account in my own words would be akin to diluting fine wine with water. Yet even with the potential for corrupted meaning, I do of course realize the importance of keeping written records. Without them, my search for wisdom would be a painful affair indeed. But what say you on this matter? Should I take up the quill, reflect upon those experiences only we have shared, and seek to preserve them for posterity? Aye, let them be read and remembered. Very well then, I shall endeavour to pen what I can of the Ea and the Ancients, and of so many other wonders. But I am no scribe. It will be less a polished work and more of a reordering of scattered notes. In any case, I feel much better for having sought your opinion. Left to our own devices, we tend to overthink such things. I will otherwise return to following where my curiosity leads, After all, a safe method of travel to the first yet eludes me, and our venture into the great expanse has prompted an entirely new set of questions. Should you stumble into the unknown, or struggle with some impenetrable mystery, note that I am at your beck and call. It never hurts to see things from a different perspective, and mine is rather different than most. Oh, Sagasite, might you have a moment to talk? With the Scions stepping away from the public eye, I have been left to consider what new endeavors I might pursue. And after speaking with Krile, I have decided. I'll be assisting her in rebuilding the students of Valdesian. Not only am I indebted to Master Gallo for giving me a new home, but had our order never existed, I would have never set foot within the Crystal Tower. How different my life might have been. I would have never met you, never become caretaker of the tower, never become a Scion. You gave me the chance to do so much good, and I hope to continue to do so with the students. For an added benefit, new mysteries often find their way to our doorsteps, mysteries that could prove ideal for fulfilling our promise to embark on a new adventure together, unlike any we have experienced before. Whenever you have the time and inclination, my friend, I stand ready to accompany you onto the unknown. You recall in the realm of the Omicrons, when I asked if you thought I may someday be mentioned in your epic. While it is true that to earn a place at your side would be the stuff of dreams, in the end, nothing would give me greater joy than to stand with you in the here and now. It needn't be some grand endeavor. There needn't be a promise. Whenever adventure calls, I won't hesitate to invite you, and I hope that you will do the same for me. Without a second thought. I'll hold you to that. As much as we have already seen, there's still so much we haven't. Who knows, perhaps we will even encounter survivors of the Omicrons somewhere out there. After all, given how they took to the stars, it isn't implausible that some found themselves far from home. And should we encounter a wayward traveler awaiting commands that will never come, I would bid them seek adventure with someone, and with that partner find new purpose, a new dream. For if crystals can call fast to dreams, why not Omicrons? Whenever your plans may lead, do not hesitate to send word, and should a commission of interest come my way, you will be the first to know. 2:13 AM. Oh, Sagasite, how are you feeling? Any lingering aches or pains? I can't apologize enough for sending Scions to find you in Ultima Thule. When he came to me in Sharlayan, I was truly torn. As ever, there was only one thing on his mind. Forced to make a decision, I reasoned that, if he would not be deterred from seeking you out, he might at least aid us in our cause, and so I struck a bargain. In the end, he was true to his word, and you defeated him despite your earlier exertions. But knowing the state you were found in, it could have ended very differently. My decision almost cost you your life, and no words could express the remorse I feel. It worked out. You did the right thing. It is a relief to hear you say that. Thank you. Time and time again, I have been made to feel woefully inadequate. I wasn't much use in battle, nor could I face the Forum without my nerves getting the better of me. It always fell to you and the others. I must and will do better, and I shall begin with the restoration of the students of Valdesian. Though through our work, Sharlayan will strengthen its ties with other nations, that we may be better prepared to face whatever threats arise in future. Of course, this isn't something I can accomplish alone, but thankfully I have the staunchest of help in Raha and Ojika and our other remaining members. Together, we'll continue Grandfather's work. As before, certain commissions will take us to dangerous locales, and we may need to call upon seasoned adventurers. In such times, might you be willing to assist us? Not because you feel obliged, mind you, but because you feel allured for the task itself. Marvelous. Should something of interest arise, I shan't hesitate to reach out to you. Until that day, I shall endeavor to become a more dependable comrade. Oh, Sakasite, pray forgive me for delaying the gathering. I was writing a letter, you see, to my parents. As busy as Father has been, tending the aftermath of the Exodus, he has been good enough to show concern for the Scions. And besides, I have made them worry enough for a lifetime. Henceforth, I will endeavor to write as often as I am able. A little effort to set their minds at ease while we continue to be away from Sharlayan. Both Alice and I are off to assist with Garlemald's recovery, you see. Though uncertainty remains over what will become of the nation, we cannot well leave the capital in its present state. We will rejoin those members of the Insabard contingent still stationed there. Lucia and Maxima helm the relief effort, with support from our allies, the people of Garlemald, among them. They will gradually be joined by those who have finished treating the temperate across the lands. Lest you misunderstand, we do not seek redemption from failing Licinia and her sister. That is a burden we must always bear. Nay, we go because of the truth in Lord Quintus's words. The truth that, whatever ideals individuals may espouse, nations are not moved to actions unless they stand to benefit. For the foreseeable future, the falling empire will be at the mercy of both internal and external forces, and though I do not doubt the intentions of the contingent, with greater powers involved in the relief effort, our allies may well find themselves drawn into a political agenda. In going, we seek to ensure that the needs of the people come first, to understand their hearts, that we might better help them to begin anew. You had best write me too. Write your letters? Of course I would be glad to do so, but I would be gladder still were you to come and visit, and I believe I speak for Alice as well. For fairly as long as I have been in Eorzea, you have been at my side, watching over me, in good times and in bad. How many times have we gathered to share tidings? None could possibly keep count. The world is changing, and will continue to do so, yet no matter what the future brings, I hope that I can ever look to you, in good times and in bad, as a dependable comrade and dear friend both. Thank you, Sakasite, from the bottom of my heart. Spoken your fill, have you? If so, I'm thinking to send everyone off. With your permission then, your attention please. At risk of spoiling the mood, the time of departure is upon us. In my capacity as your receptionist, I bid you all safe journeys. Till next we meet. Be well.
I suppose we're off to Garlemald then. Though we ought to speak with Lord Emmerich first. If he's received word of any recent developments, we need to know.
'Twould be prudent to purchase some warmer clothes at least. Mayhap we can pick up a few souvenirs for Euless and the others while we're at it.
Where will you all be heading next?
Dravania. There is a book I've been meaning to borrow from the Great Google Library. And I can think of at least one person who will be most displeased should I fail to visit before leaving.
We've no particular destination in mind, but we do intend to stop in Sharlayan before we set off.
We had thought to ask after the Loperids. I am curious as to how well those who chose to remain are adapting to their changed circumstances.
Might we accompany you then? Raha and I were planning to return to the Baldessian Annex.
Commissions have been piling up in our absence, and they must be dealt with ere we begin our work in earnest.
Estinian, you will return to Rads at Han, will you not?
Aye. For Vritra's benefit, though I've yet to hear the details. I may not stay long.
I see. Then it is here the Scions at last part ways, each to some far-flung corner of the realm.
Perhaps. But I believe one of our number, a rather important one at that, has yet to divulge her plans.
Quite right.
Indeed. Fair point.
So, what's next for our humble adventurer?